I'm staying at my parents' place in Canada, and I put those in all the plugs. My dad's gonna kill me. I'm a bit of a prankster. Dad, I'll move all this furniture back, I promise. Let me show you guys what else I did here. It's kind of funny. So on almost every single plug in the house, I put those right there. And on everything, dude, my mom and dad, they're in Florida now. That's my dad there. Hey dad, I'm so sorry, Dad, I'll take that off. I love you. But they're in Florida now. So what I did was they're letting me stay here in their apartment. We're here for Christine's dad's 80th birthday. And I put these oh my God, dude, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. Yeah, so that's my family. There's my little sister. She doesn't have a mustache, but that's me when I was younger. What else can I show you? Oh yeah, over here, this is good. You know, my dad's Egyptian, so yeah, I put that there as well. King Tutankhamun had a mustache, I think, eh? And then one up there. I'll probably take that one down. My mom's gonna kill me, right? She'll think that's a bug or something. But dude, I put them everywhere. I gotta show you a couple more here. Hi, I'm 5. I put them everywhere. Right there. And then over here, oh my God, my dad's gonna kill me. But screw it. It's fun, right? So I'll show you a couple more. You probably all think I'm crazy. That's okay. I think I'm crazy too, but you know, it's fun. Why not? I put them there. I put my bulletproof coffee over here, there. Dude, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I even put them, let me see here. I put them even on these my mom has these little statues down here. They're gonna freak out when they get home. Right, I put one there as well, and anyway, pretty sophomoric, I know, but funny. Why not, eh? Oh, I gotta show you this one too. All right, so yeah, of course I got the one in the bathroom here. I got this one here. My mom has these statues, so Mom, I love you. And then my dad, I love you so much. I'll see you soon. I'll take those down soon. If my mom and dad are watching, I'm so sorry. I'll put all this furniture back, I promise. So without further ado, let's begin. Good morning and welcome to our 66th weekly webcast. If this is the first time you're calling us, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back. And so the way the call works is I answer all questions, business questions, personal questions, career questions, and the call never ends until I answer all questions. Now, this call going forward, meaning starting next Thursday, December 5th, is only going to be 3 hours. It'll go from 8 a.m. San Francisco time to 11 a.m. San Francisco time. And the reason is because we start our MBA Degree Program with all of our students on Monday, December 2nd. And every Thursday I have a webcast, Office Hours, for MBA students only. It starts at 11:15 until 1:15, and then a couple hours of one-on-ones with students after that. And so unfortunately, this call going forward, it will still occur every Thursday forever, I promise you, but it'll go from 8 a.m. Until 11 a.m. Yeah, thank you. And I think there's a bunch of people that are asking questions about the MBA degree program right now on the webcast. Please ask away if you want. And we've had some requests from people that want to apply. I'm so sorry, but we are fully booked with a very long waiting list, so we're not taking any more students. But anyway, without further ado, let's begin. Again, I am going to do this call forever from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. San Francisco time. Every single Thursday for the general public, for all my students, whether or not you bought course or not, I don't care. I want to humbly help if I can. But starting December 5th, the call is going to be 3 hours, and then we'll do MBA degree office hours only with a different webcast link. Thank you. And let me know if you guys think that the lighting is okay here. I'm in my dad's office here at his place in Canada, and I wasn't sure if the lighting was great, but got in kind of late yesterday. All right, so first question I've got is from Julian, who's saying, good morning from Germany. Good morning, Julian. Great to have you. Thank you. Next up, you're saying, in your portfolio dashboard from the Complete Financial Analyst training, you've listed multiple macroeconomic drivers like interest rates, unemployment, etc. As they are country specific, is it a good idea to monitor them not only for the country in which the company we live or company we are investing in is listed, but also for its biggest market, which could be another country? Absolutely, yeah. So you want to look at the annual report always. which is called the 10K. The United States is called different things in different countries, but the annual report you can get from the website of the company you're investing in. And it's important to go through that report and search for the word geography and also different countries, like the United States, France, or whatever it is that company does a lot of business in. And the reason is because you have to take into account foreign exchange. So, for example, I invested in a great German software company called SAP years ago. And I always had to make sure I understood what percent of revenue came from the United States and what the exchange rate was in the United States in the most recent quarter. Because when SAP repatriated the profits, meaning brought the profits back from America to Germany, if the exchange rate in dollars, American dollar, went up a lot, that meant more profit for SAP and vice versa. So it's very important to monitor multiple countries on that dashboard that you're mentioning there. In a lot of companies, what they do is actually hedge out the foreign exchange exposure. So it's a moot point. It doesn't really matter how much the dollar or different currencies move. And if you have additional follow-up questions based on that, please let me know. But great question. Thank you. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to scroll to the bottom here to see if there's any issues with the webcast. Any comments? Okay, so Eric's saying it's darker than normal. Okay, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So I'm going to let you guys see my screen, and you're going to see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to make the ISO. I'll bump it up a bit. There we go. Eric, let me know if that's better, please. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. That's exactly the advice I wanted. Thanks. All right, let's go back here to Wirecast. Go here. And then we'll go right here. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. Let's see what the next question is here. And then Julian says, do you still manage and analyze your portfolio by yourself? I do, but I'm much longer term focused. So I don't check it that often anymore because I believe in what Warren Buffett said, which is when you invest in a stock, you have to pretend or assume that the stock market's going to be closed for 10 years. You know, every now and then I'll hear about a market crash or a big pullback and everyone's panicking, which is ridiculous. But whenever I hear that, then I get happy and I start backing up the truck and buy more shares in my favorite companies or favorite ETFs. Okay. And then Julian is saying, do you think the complete business plan course, which is one of my courses on Udemy, could also be understandable and interesting for children? Thank you. I think so. We have a number of teenagers that have taken my courses and watched my YouTube videos as well. So I think it's possible. I start off at a very high level and I drill down, maybe 15, 16 at a minimum, that sort of thing. Yeah. And just so you know, YouTube, and this is a separate comment, has nothing to do with my Udemy courses, but YouTube has a new policy now where you have to state whether or not your videos are allowed to be watched by minors. And so all my videos are going forward. I'm going to set them just in case as 18 or over, just in case somebody swears or says a bad word. But all my Udemy courses and YouTube videos, for the most part, are good enough for minors. Yeah, I hope. Even my idiotic humor from this morning, my opening video there, that's for minors too, I guess, because I'm 7.5 actually. Okay, next question is Valenz, who's saying, hi, Chris. I was just wondering, for your MBA class, office hours only, what happens if I can't make it? Is there any alternative office hour? Or maybe I could send the questions through email and you can answer in the video. Please advise. Yeah, thank you for that. That's a great question. And so you're going to have plenty of opportunity to ask questions during the live classes, which, as you know, are there's 2 time zones I'm teaching live. There's Mondays and Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 12 my time, and Mondays and Tuesdays 4 to 7 p.m. my time. So it's a lot of work, but I threw down a challenge. I got to make it happen now. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. So you can ask as many questions as you want to during those classes. There will be plenty of breaks where you can ask questions via text, video, etc. If you can't, if your questions aren't answered, then yeah, email me if you want, or actually email admissions@harounventures.com, and somebody on my team will queue up the question for me to answer on the weekly webcast. And there's also going to be one-on-ones for you as well. Starting in mid-January, you're all going to be able to go, people in the MBA Degree Program, to my Calendly, it's hard to say, Calendly website, which I'll provide you with soon, and book one-on-one times with me. So we'll do calls or video calls, and they'll all be confidential and all that good stuff over Zoom. Yeah. Okay. And then next up is Kunal, who's saying, good morning, Chris. Good morning, Kunal. Good morning, Rohit. I see you there as well. Welcome to the call. It's interesting because now more than 10% of my students on Udemy are from India. That wasn't the case before. It used to be 5%. So America is now less than 40%, then India 10, and then the rest, the other 190 or so countries, is fragmented, a couple percent each. Yeah. Although we do have 3% from Canada represent. Yeah. Oh, I love this question. Rohit, you know me, dude. You said, did you watch The Irishman on Netflix? Great Martin Scorsese movie, a classic like Godfather and Goodfellas. It's so funny you mention that because I finished watching season 3 of The Crown, which is awesome, on Netflix. And then at the end of it, it said last night, do you want to watch the Irishman, which is that Scorsese movie with I think it's got Al Pacino in it as well. I love it. I've watched just the first 20 minutes so far. It's great. It's great to see Joe Pesci reunited with Robert De Niro. First time, I think, since Goodfellas, which is one of my favorite movies, and Casino, of course, which is another great movie with Sharon Stone. Yeah, I've started watching it. It's 3.5 hours long. It's amazing so far. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'll be watching it today from the gym if I have time. Yeah. All right, Melody. Oh, Melody, thank you so much for the. You asked me a couple of questions, I think, on a YouTube video. I didn't get back to you on them. I've been so jammed. But you asked me about my weekly shake, which you asked, do you fill them all the way up? I think you said. I actually, what I do is I fill them all the way up to the top when I create all 7 of them every Sunday with greatest hits of antioxidants. I fill it all the way to the top, and the reason is, and I open this up and I get a funnel and fill it all the way up with aloe water and coconut water too. I do that so it doesn't expire faster. Yeah. And I think if you had another question based on that, please let me know. And I'm so sorry I didn't get back to your YouTube question. I'm trying. Okay, and then Melody is saying, good morning, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you and your family are having a great time today. Lots to be thankful for. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's interesting because in Canada, a lot of people don't realize this, but Thanksgiving is 6 weeks earlier than it is in the United States. And the reason it's earlier is because the harvest is always earlier in Canada because it gets colder faster. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. But it's good, though. I get to celebrate 2 Thanksgivings now. And then Melody is saying, I just bought 3 more courses, finished the YouTube course, and wrapping up the video course you created with Steve. Thank you, Melody. And I saw both of your amazing reviews on those 2 courses. Thank you very much for that. And Sasha's amazing. So Sasha, who's the person I'm co-teaching with, I met her here actually on my 10th weekly call. Never met her live in person, probably never will. She's awesome though. She lives in Indonesia. And she has over 1 million YouTube subscribers now. She just got that gold or silver YouTube plaque in the mail. And right now she's actually making a video that she's going to share with you and everybody that's taken that course. So thank you. I learned a lot from her. She's great. All right. Thank you very much for your support, Melody. Appreciate that. And Solly is saying, hello, Chris. Hello, Chad. Solly, great to have you again. For those of you not familiar with Solly, he's actually from, he lives in Lithuania. I think you said you're Persian last time we talked. And you went on vacation in Rome, and you've been on a couple times. I love it. And Solly, I'd love to have you on doing a video call this week, like you did last week and 2 weeks before that. Unfortunately, it might be tough for me today because I can do it, but I have to use my webcam. It's complicated because I'm remote and my webcam sucks here. I like using this camera from 2012 over there, which is out of focus, my finger there. Thank you. And then Rohit is saying, an idea for your Oscar documentary. Thank you. What you and Vital are going to do sounds benevolent and uplifting. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. And I'll tell everybody what that means in a second. Let me first of all explain. That's actually brilliant, Rohit. A lot of great ideas. For those of you that aren't familiar with Vital, he's been on the call a couple times. He has a wonderful son, Caleb, I think is his name. You mentioned last time we did a video call, and God bless you. I hope you're doing well, buddy. And I met Vital and another student of mine named Robin when I was in Berlin at Udemy Live last month. And Vital drove 6 hours from Stuttgart. I'm pronouncing that right this time, right? Stuttgart, to meet with me at the conference. And Robin traveled a long distance too. Now, Vital is originally from Rwanda. He immigrated to Germany many years ago, and he had a very tough upbringing, but just an amazing guy, great sense of humor, great personality, great attitude in life. And so what we're going to do is Vital and I, on December 3rd, next year, 2020, the day after the MBA Degree one-year program finishes, on December 3rd, Vital and I are going to fly to Rwanda, to his hometown. And we're going to give 100 students access to internet and free courses of mine online, that sort of thing. And Vital's actually also in the MBA Degree Program. Now, in the MBA Degree Program, during semesters 3 and 4 in the second half of next calendar year, everybody has to write a business plan. And I'm going to treat it like a venture capital boot camp. And I've done a lot of that stuff in my career in the past. And Vital's business plan is going to be how to install technology, tablets, PCs, whatever it takes, in small remote villages around the world, particularly his in Rwanda, in a cost-effective way. And what we're going to do is we're going to fly to Rwanda, make it happen. And then whatever we learn based on the business plan that Vital wrote, and of course, I'd love to humbly help if I can write that. Whatever we learn, what we're going to do is we're going to get Bill and Melinda Gates involved. And then we're going to try to use that blueprint and the many mistakes that I'll make at least doing that, as a generic framework, so that everybody in the world in every remote village can use our business plan, so to speak, for free, of course. There's no money involved with this stuff. So that they can change the world, because I think education, along with technology, can solve all the world's problems. Rather than going overseas and sending troops to fight wars we can't win or understand. I think we have to all understand globally that society changes from within. All you need are a handful of Malalas rising up in every remote village in the world where there is oppression. And they can teach from within, leveraging YouTube, Udemy, whatever it might be. So anyway, that's near and dear to my heart. I gave a couple speeches on this. If you want, you can check out my TEDx talk on this topic, and a speech I gave in Brazil as well, I think a year ago now. God, time goes by fast. Just go to my YouTube page if you want. And I also mentioned, actually, it's funny, Rohit, you mentioned you're connecting the dots here, and it's smart. I mentioned just over a year ago during this weekly webcast how important it is to throw down a goal and provide a deadline date. And so what I did was I told everybody that I want to get an Oscar in 10 years for a business documentary that makes the world a better place. And so I've got 9 years to do it now as well. So you got to vocalize your goals to everybody and give a deadline date, otherwise it won't get done. Little side note. 90% of New Year's resolutions, people give up on them by the third week of January. And the reason they do is because they don't set a deadline date. So you have to set a deadline date. So Rohit's follow-up here is you should make a documentary about the Rwanda one. That's actually not a bad idea. I hope that I learn enough about videography by then to be able to film it and make it quality enough. As you can all tell, I'm still making mistakes. But if you go back to our very first weekly webcast, you can see that this is getting a lot better. So anyway, thank you for that, Rohit. And then Rohit wrote here, just like Oscar-winning documentary Icarus and Citizen 4, Icarus is, I think, the dude with wax wings that melted when he went up close to the sun. Old story. And then you wrote, can't wait to see you get nominated for the Oscars in 2022 and 23. Wow, thanks, dude. I'm very humbled to hear that. I've got a lot of work to do, a lot of work. And by the way, this is probably this is one of the most important things I'm going to mention today in the call. I'm 7, as you know. What t-shirt is this from? Whoever gets it right, who's not in my MBA degree program, you can't be in my MBA degree program and tell me this. Whoever gets it right gets access to 5 of my courses for free on Udemy. Okay, so it's the first person, and you cannot be registered for my MBA degree program. Okay. No Google either. If you use Google, I know if you use Google, I can see you there. Don't use Google. Okay. So here it is. Here it's probably my favorite actor. You can tell he or she influenced my sense of humor, or lack thereof. All right, Akil saying, hello, sir, good morning. Thank you, Akil. Call me Chris, please. Good morning to you, too. And then you wrote here, I received the MBA program mail message, sir. Very excited. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and for all of you enrolled in the MBA degree program, as y'all know, we start on next Monday, December 2nd. If you have not received an email from us, okay, we sent out an email yesterday giving you all the details on how to log onto our website, access all the course materials and everything. If you've not received an email from us, then what I want you to do right now is this, please. If you've enrolled in the MBA degree program, I want you to email admissions@harounventures.com. Again, that's admissions@harounventures.com. And then Wrigley will respond to you. Thanks. I just want to make sure everybody got it. Now we track the open rates, and like 80% of people opened it, but I'm worried about the 20% that haven't opened it yet. Thank you. Okay, Keel said, are the one-on-one video calls limited to a certain number during the MBA degree program? I'm not sure yet. This is the first time I've done this. And so I don't know what demand is going to be. I just don't know. I don't know. So we'll see. But Akil, I promise you that you'll be happy with the end results or your money back. Okay. All right. Melody is saying, I'm looking forward to this year. I know you. I know you like comics. Have you gotten a chance to see the movies they have on Google? I watched the animated movie for Batman. I haven't yet, actually, but I had our former au pair. She came over with her husband. She's from Brazil, actually, to stay with us, and they love comics. And it was hard for me to do, but I gave with my heart, and I gave them my Batman Frank Miller #1 from 1986 or 7, I think, first print, which is PSA 9 or whatever. You don't need that geek talk for me, but yeah, no, I haven't watched it yet, but I probably will. The great thing about having kids is you can be a kid again. You know, like my kids, years ago, I remember they said, Dad, can you help me finish this level in Super Mario Galaxy? And I was like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll help. So no, it's fun. It's fun. Although my youngest one wants to play Call of Duty, I will not let him. Dylan, if you're watching, he's at Yaya's house. That's Christine's mom's house right now. I'm at my parents' house. Don't play Call of Duty, but I love you. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and Melody said, not so sure if you celebrate Thanksgiving. If you do, what are the traditional foods that you make? So it's similar to the American Thanksgiving. You know, it's just gravy, turkey, and stuffing and cranberry. I don't know why, but cranberries taste great with turkey. I don't know why they do. And I don't know why people don't do that throughout the entire year. Why the cranberries only show up on Thanksgiving. Yeah. And then we have pumpkin pie as well. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. You'd think, though, with my Arabic background, we'd have hummus and baba ghanoush, all that good stuff. Yeah. All right. Now, next up is Kunal saying, what are your thoughts on Michael Bloomberg's 2020 presidential campaign? I don't really know him that well. And I know that he has a business background. And he leans obviously more left than Donald Trump does, but he certainly I don't know, I'm still kind of torn. At first I thought that if you have a background in business, you'd make an amazing president. Like Ross Perot, God bless him, he passed away, but Ross Perot in the early '90s was running against Clinton, and he lost obviously, but he was running on a ticket whereby he said that. His background in business, building EDS, which is Ed's Warehouse, a big consulting firm, but he never actually won. And I don't know, I don't when I was younger, I used to think that you got to run a government like a business and be very mindful of profits and losses and surpluses. But I've changed my opinion on that. I don't think you run companies, or countries, I should say, or governments for that matter, like businesses. Otherwise, there'd be no unemployment insurance and healthcare and all that stuff. And if you were to run it like a business, I think the U.S. economy would be a hell of a lot smaller than it is today. And I know everybody in this call is thinking, Chris, that's ridiculous. The U.S. economy is about to collapse. There's a ridiculous amount of debt. No, it's different. It's different. So countries can't raise enough money from taxes to pay for stuff, bridges, whatever, not walls. And what happens when it comes to geopolitical issues and deficits globally is countries are attached to each other. Like China owns a large percent of the United States debt. So they're kind of attached. It's very political. And I think the U.S. should issue debt. Not too much, obviously, but if you don't issue debt and take on debt, then you can't change interest rates and you can't control the fiscal and monetary policy of your country, and you can't grow, and you can't have these massive government projects like highways, etc. So it's very different. So when it comes to Mayor Bloomberg, or former Mayor Bloomberg, for being president, I just don't know yet. I just don't know. I don't think that just because you're a billionaire means that you can govern a country. Yeah. Okay. And there's been precedence of that, like in Italy and many other countries. And what happens actually is a lot of people, they make a lot of money, and their ego is massive. I'm not signaling out certain people, you might read between the lines up, but globally, their egos are massive. And they're like, okay, I made all this money. I want legacy now. What can I do next? Okay, I'll run for office. And so a lot of people at Goldman Sachs, actually, where I used to work, a lot of people make partner at Goldman. They do exceptionally well, and then what they do is they run for office. They run for office. And I worked at Goldman, and I absolutely love it, and I have nothing negative to say. But I will say this: after having worked there, I understand why so many successful politicians come out of there. So it's so hard to make partner or CEO in a company. You have to be so delicate with what you say when you rise up through the ranks, and political too, unfortunately, which I was never good at, because you see, this is what you see is what you get. More cowbell, by the way. And so to make it to the top, you got to be like a politician as well, and a salesperson. And all partners and all CEOs and all great entrepreneurs are great salespeople too. And I'm going to teach you how to sell in lecture number 3 in the MBA Degree Program on December 9th. Okay, that's our third class. Okay, next up, Kunal just said that Bloomberg just bought most of the climate change, global warming ads on Google. I wasn't aware of that, but it's quite clear that he's trying to be the antithesis of Trump, saying that global warming is an issue. I'm not going to get political, but yeah. It'll be interesting to see what Trump has to say about Bloomberg, because I know that they were both two of the most wealthy people in the history of New York. Obviously, Trump was the second biggest property owner there after Columbia University, my alma mater, and Bloomberg created a great software company and financial services company called Bloomberg. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. And I haven't heard them dig into each other too much yet, especially Trump. We'll see. Okay, so next up, Melody is talking about Thanksgiving. She makes tostones. And Melody, for those who aren't familiar with Melody, she's awesome. She was on our call on October 31st, our record 9.5 hour call straight without me getting up once. We did a video call with her, and she's from Atlanta. And so Melody is saying, I make tostones, which are like fried bananas with garlic. They're amazing. I've had that before. I love those. And then you made sweet potato casserole, turkey drumsticks, wings, and you'll make something later called coquito, which is like Puerto Rican eggnog. Very cool. Very cool. Excellent. I love Thanksgiving. Okay, and Asamina Asmina, welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks. And so Asmina, I think you mentioned you're Greek originally, and you live, I think, in Belgium. And she's a flight attendant with Ryanair. And she's making a video game, which she's releasing the first level of in December using the Unity platform, I think. And I'd love to try it out if you want me to. And a couple of weeks ago, she joined us when she was out of town and did a webcast. It was pretty cool, pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't have video this week, but Asmina, always great to hear from you. Welcome back. And so Asmina's writing, I hope you had a nice week and morning. I just got back from a quick getaway in Budapest. I got to go there. And I was wondering, how do you deal with deadlines that cannot be met? Yeah. So I think that transparency builds trust, and you always have to let the party that you're doing business with know right away if you think there's a good chance you're not going to meet the deadline. Okay, they'll appreciate it if you tell them earlier on rather than at the last minute and miss the deliverables, whatever it might be. And Esme, I'm reading between the lines here. I think you're referring to you might be referring to the video game you're creating on the side, which you told us all about a couple weeks ago. I would just and also when you're programming. Asmina, and obviously you are within Unity and making video games. And I used to be a programmer. I programmed a lot. And when you have tight deadlines, and I had lots of them, you have to always think of what are the nice to haves and what are the need to haves. Okay. And most of the nice to haves you never end up doing. Just focus on the need to haves, because you and I both know that the 5% of any project you undertake takes about 80% of the time. So, yeah. But I would like if it's for your video game product, if you think the quality is not going to be up to standard or good enough, then extend the deadline. And Microsoft used to do that a lot back in the 90s. They were always late with the latest version of Microsoft Windows. And so like Windows 95 came out like months and months and months late. And so did Longhorn, which was, I guess, Vista, which is a disaster. But what you have to do is just delay it, because you can't get that reputation back for that product, so to speak. So anyway, that's what I recommend. All right. Next up is Melody saying she is so happy we changed her meds a bit. You're asking about your daughter, yeah. So she eats something she's not had in a long time. Excellent. And when you guys ask each other questions with the @ symbol at the beginning, I usually don't read those, but that's great to hear, Melody. I know you mentioned a couple weeks ago live on October 31st in the afternoon that your daughter was hospitalized and that she got discharged. So I'm happy to hear that she's fine. Yeah. Okay. All right, and Melody is saying, have you ever watched the movie Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger? I watch this movie every year, and I find something hilarious to laugh at. It's a tradition. We watch it every Christmas, but we may end up watching it tonight when we put on the tree. That's so awesome. I love that. Yeah, I watched that movie too about him and Ice-T, I think, or whatever that guy's name. I can't remember his name. They were going to the store to try and buy gifts for their kids. It was funny. The movie we watch in my house every Christmas and have forever since 1989, I think, is Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. And I think I know every single line from that movie. Yeah. And the little kid actually in that movie, he's on that show, Malcolm in the Middle now. Yeah. All right. And then Mercy, good morning. So Mercy is saying, and Mercy's from Canada, Vancouver, or Victoria actually, and Mercy, I hope you saw the opening video. I did a lot of Canadian stuff, including Terry Fox, who I'll talk about later in the opening, most Canadian B-roll ever B-roll. And then you mentioned here you still haven't heard back on your MBA application. You sent the email as per your advice last week. I've not gotten it, but you are admitted. Okay, you are 100 million% in. I'm sorry that for some reason we haven't gotten back to you. I know that last week I asked you to email admissions@harounventures.com and copy me. I still didn't get that email. I still did not get that email. So what I want you to do, please, is send me, I don't know how we're going to do this if you can't see email. Maybe send it from another email. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know why you couldn't. So I'll give you I'll just do this once. I'll never do this again but please don't text me, people. I love you all. But here's my cell phone number. And what you can do is you can text me your email address here. Okay. And then what I'll do is I will have Wrigley reply and set y'all up. Okay. So it's my cell number is 917-371-5523. If that doesn't work, that should work. You'll be able to reach me. Just send me a text. And if I don't answer right away, then call me. And I will get you all signed up. I'm sorry about that. We've been so inundated with hundreds and hundreds of applications. It's been crazy, but good. Yeah. But don't worry. I give you my word. You're in. Yeah. And sorry about that mess up. I'll find out what happened on our end. Yeah. Probably email spam filter. Okay. Next up is Rohit is saying, what do you do on the days when you feel your dreams are far, far away and there's a huge gap between where you are now and where you want to be? Yeah. And then you wrote here, it's a great thing that in the new MBA program, you're not grading against the curve and making the students compete amongst each other like in college. I'm fed up with traditional university culture. Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. I wanted a collegial environment where everybody gets along because we're family. And I'm going to treat you as such during the MBA degree program. So it's tough. So you got to, when you feel intimidated about your dreams, I want you to remember this. I want you to remember on day one, when you first wrote down what your goals were, and you could clearly see the top of the mountain, right? That's a metaphor for your goals. There it is. That's my dream up there in the clouds, the top of the mountain. And then you start embarking upon this journey and you're excited, you're pumped up. And then you get closer and closer, and the top of the mountain, meaning the metaphor for your dream, your goal is getting bigger and bigger, you're getting closer. And then all of a sudden one day, you just can't see the top of the mountain anymore. And you start wandering this way, and you're frustrated, and you might want to give up. But don't give up, because you're actually getting a lot closer to the top. You're just on the side of the mountain, and you can't see the top of the mountain, but rest assured you are getting closer. And so when you feel frustrated, what I recommend doing is just think how far you've come. And you can even break down your big goals into minor goals. Like if people want to lose 30 pounds, minor goals could be 10%, benchmarks 3, 6, 9, all the way up to 30, right? So that's what I would do. And also it might be a sign that you're burned out. And so maybe you should take a break and rest this, because this is a muscle just like other muscles in your body. And if you don't rest this won't work properly. So it might be a sign that you're burned out, or it might be due to the fact that people around you are bringing you down. Maybe you need to upgrade your friends because you are the average of all the people you hang out with. That's a great quote I heard the other day. Can't remember who told me, but I loved it. I think one of my students actually sent it to me. So you might want to upgrade your friend group. And if anybody brings you down, cut them off. And watch the vlog that I published yesterday, please, because it deals with that in a lot more detail. Yeah. All right. But don't worry, Rohit. During the MBA degree program, I'm going to do whatever I can to help you. And there's going to be goal-setting workshops on steroids in the personal growth track, which is one of 5 business tracks within the degree, as you know. Yeah. In fact, if you want, Rohit, and I know you have the password already to get in because you're an admitted student, you can look at the second workbook just to see what we're going to be doing. You'll see. You'll love it. It'll help out a lot. And every class has a workbook. Okay. And then Naveed, how are you? Is saying, hi, sir, do you have a pitch deck course on Udemy? Yeah. And so for those of you not familiar with the pitch deck, it basically means a presentation to give investors, to pitch them. And I recommend always keeping it to 10 slides with 3 bullet points per slide max. And the best way I recommend getting access to this is take my complete business plan course. It's a 9-hour course. And by the end of the business plan course, you'll have a 50 to 100 page business plan written. And I provide you with 50 templates, business plan templates. And also, as you fill in all the fields in Excel, what's automatically created for you is a 10-page PowerPoint presentation. And I provide you with 25 templates for your pitch deck in that course. So take that course. It's the complete business plan course. And you can always go to my website and click through to get lowest prices and all coupons, etc. So just go to my website, harounventures.com, and take the business plan course. And all my courses have a 30-day money-back guarantee, except my complete job course, which has a lifetime guarantee, 100%. Okay, I'm so convinced you'll get the job of your dream. That's why. And Mark 18 is saying, hello, Chris. Good morning. Good morning to you too. Hey, Eric, how are you, bud? And then Rohit is saying, great setup, Chris. The camera lens and angle is so pristine. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks. Kunal is saying that's a beautiful, beautiful house. That's how Canadians say house. It's not house, Americans. It's house. Yeah, and it's cold outside. When I go out, it's cold. Thank you. No, it's my parents' place here in Mississauga. And then Fola is saying, hi, Chris, looking forward to next week. How important is program management compared to an MBA? So program management is a very generic term. You spelled it there with an extra M and E. That sounds like the French derivative. I think it's basically a way for you to stay incredibly organized to meet deadlines. And during the very first class, and you already received the email, you can go download the workbook associated with the first class, and all workbooks are in 3 formats, Google Docs, as well as Microsoft Word and PDF. But if you go to the workbook for the very first class, which is orientation, you see that I kind of have a program management exercise on steroids for you in terms of how to schedule each day and manage your time too. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Eric, thanks for the feedback there, bud. And then Amkar is saying you're a gem of a person. Thank you. God bless you. Appreciate that. Thank you. And all my students inspire me so much. And I got this great opportunity to just be me and do what I want to do, you know, and you'll realize true happiness in life, business-wise, when you actually start your own company or you work for somebody else, but love doing what you're doing, and just yourself, like more cowbell, you know. Thank you. God bless you. And if you get out of bed in the morning, I've said this before, but if you get out of bed in the morning and you tell yourself you're going to work, then with all due respect, you're doing it wrong. You got to find your raison d'être, your passion. If you get out of bed in the morning, tell yourself going to work, then just find a new job, you know, a new career. Take my complete job course. You can get the link on my website. It's $10, and there's a 100% lifetime money back guarantee on that course. Lifetime. You got nothing to lose. Even if you get the job of your dreams, you can still ask for a refund. It's a 12-hour course, and I guarantee you that you will get the job of your dreams. I guarantee it, or your money back. Yeah. And then Michael from England, who goes by the Aqua Hood, is saying, hi, Chris. Hi, all. How are you? Michael, how are you? And Michael, I don't know if you're in the MBA Degree Program, but there's one thing I'm doing, which is a case study with real companies and real situations where I play different characters. And one of them has a British accent. I don't know if it's a good British accent or a Cockney accent, like Michael Caine, but if you're taking the degree program, you can tell me where that British accent's from that I put on, if anywhere, please. Yeah. And why is it that all great actors are British and they can do American accents, but not vice versa? I just don't get it. And I miss Game of Thrones. I just finished it, dude. Speaking of British accents. Yeah. All right. And Shantanu is saying, good morning, Chris. Hope you're doing great. Thank you. Same to you, dude. Same to you. Welcome. And Melody is saying, nice background. I'm not sure what part of the house you're in, but take a photo of it in green screen. It's actually a good idea. We've started looking into that for the MBA degree program. we got a green screen behind us and we're taking pictures of the mini sets we're setting up. And we've got 96 sets for 96 different 3-hour classes. I know it's crazy. Props. I'm going all out. This is the biggest thing I've ever done. Ever. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. That's a good idea. Very good idea. All right. And the way, by the way, the way I did this background here, let me show you. And let me just bring you under the covers here so you can see the operation here within Wirecast. What I did is most cameras, they don't allow you to record or have a camera off more than 29 minutes. It's DSLR cameras. It's an old EU rule. Otherwise, what happens is if they can record for more than 29 minutes, then taxes go up materially because they're classified as video cameras and not camera cameras. So I have this software hooked up to it for my old 2012 camera, DSLR. And then what I can do is I change everything here. So what I'm going to do is, and for those of you who are interested in cameras and stuff, I'll teach during the MBA Degree Program. Let me change the f-stop here, which will darken it, just so you can see what's behind me. And then I'm going to change what's called the ISO as well, okay, so you can actually see what's behind me there. Okay, give it a second. I have to go way higher because there's not many lights in here. Okay, there we go, yeah. And what I'll do actually is I'm going to go way up here, which is going to make it massively dark. It's going to get really grainy, but I want to show you the back there. I had a lot of fun nerding out. I'm going to go all the way up here, see if this works. Hold on. It's going to be grainy as hell. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm getting out of what people refer to as portrait mode. And I want to show you behind me just the setup there. So what I had to do is, and I'm going to get up and show you, I actually had to open up the cabinets because the lights on the side were creating glare. And I actually had to turn 1 or 2 books around because they were shiny. And then I had to put tape on some of the shelves. I'll show you. Let me nerd out for a second. Oh, by the way, if you're not familiar with f-stops, f-stop basically means bokeh or not, meaning portrait mode on your cell phone. So a low f-stop number means everything's blurry behind you. So I had an f-stop of 1.2 earlier in the call. That's why everything's blurry behind me. Now I changed the f-stop. I increased it to f11. So now everything is in focus, or a lot of it behind me at least. But you sacrifice other grainy qualities I can talk about if you care. But let me show you. So what I did was these are cabinets here. I actually opened these up. Otherwise, what happens is you get a glare. See the lights? You get the glare from the lights. And then over here, I put a piece of tape. So watch this. You see that? I put a piece of black tape on the shelf here. Don't worry, Mom and Dad, it comes off. And so that's how I set it up. Oops. And what you heard was the drawer. I pulled the drawer out of my dad's desk, and that's where the computer is standing on, so I can get more depth here. So let me go and change it back here. Give me 1 second. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the f-stop all the way down here, so you can get portrait mode. I know it's bright. Give me a second, and I'm going to lower what's called the ISO. Okay. And for those of you that are confused with ISO, just tell yourself this: a high ISO number will let in more light. So just say to yourself, ISO high, ISO open, ISO open. So your eyes are so open, high, ISO high. I'm not high, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you remember ridiculous things like that, you'll tell yourself that you'll never forget. And if anybody has questions about this other stuff here, let me know. Now, this camera here I have it on manual focus. So what I do is, and you'll find that when you have a low ISO, it's tough for you to always stay in focus. So I click this button here. Okay, and it's normal that the webcast got cut off for a second there, the video. Good, there we go. And now I'm in focus. Okay, so anyway, that's how that works. Give me 1 second, double check it. That's good. Okay, we're good. We're good. Great. All right, let's go back to questions now. Come back to Bigger Chris. And if you guys have issues if there's a delay between the audio and video, let me know, please. And if there's other issues, let me know. You're helping me if you provide feedback. Thanks. All right, let me go to the next question here. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. And then Melody's saying, Chris, are you not feeling well? You sound a bit raspy. I hope you're feeling well. Thanks. No, I actually traveled, got here kind of late last night from San Francisco. And then I stayed up late trying to set up all this equipment because I will never, ever, ever miss a week of this stuff, even on Thanksgiving. So, and even out of town. So I'm committed. I committed to my students that I would do this. It's called weekly, and I vlog every day forever. And that's what I'm going to do. You know, I stick to my deadline. So I feel great. I'm just a little bit tired. So I got 2 cups of coffee here. This is my parents still have it, my old Abbey Road mug. Put it in focus here. And then my mom has a lot of duck stuff. There's ducks on the side of this. So I'll drink more coffee and I'll sound more upbeat. Yeah, thank you. All right. Oh, thank you for that feedback, Melody. And Melody is saying, she said, Chris, that was wonderful. Being able to get people access to education. Love it. Yeah, I love it too. And for those who are not familiar, Melody is actually a first grade teacher and she teaches adults too. And she's putting up courses on Udemy, which is awesome because education can and will change the world. And she showed us all her backdrop setup on October 31st when we did our record 9.5 hour call straight without me getting up. She's got a dope, that's what kids say these days, right? Dope and lit and groovy. Groovy? Okay, yeah, groovy. She has a groovy background as well with her setup with her Canon M50, right? Yeah. And by the way, Melody, with your Canon M50, you can get a little adapter and put on any other bigger lenses too. It's cool. All right. And then Melody's saying you should set up a mini documentary when you do this for the Rwanda project, like the prep you and everyone else is going on the trip with what you're doing. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. Hey, Wrigley's my COO, and Matt, who's my CCO, Chief Creative Officer. I just brought him on board full time. Let's think about that actually. Like recording beforehand might be kind of fun. Huh. Yeah, it's cool. And then Nick, who's from the country of Georgia, who got out of military service because he's taking my MBA degree course, right? You can get educators to write messages to get you out of military service. Nick is saying, hey, Chris, hey, everyone. And then Nick is saying, great mug, Chris, my favorite album. Yeah. So this here is, if my mom's watching, she's worrying I spill it. I won't, don't worry. This is Abbey Road. And Abbey Road was a masterpiece. And the Beatles really, and we'll study this a bit in the MBA degree program, but I want to show you something. I want to show you the cover of Abbey Road because it really is brilliant. And the Beatles were not only amazing at making music, but also creating controversial stuff, and controversy sells well. Okay, so let me show you what they did actually. You guys are going to absolutely love this. And we are going to study musicians in the MBA degree program as well because a lot of them are great at marketing and sales. So let's go to Abbey Road, and I'm going to show you the cover of this album. Oh, there's an Abbey Road here. Wow, look at that. All right, so here's the image, the cover of the album, and it's right in front of Abbey Road Studios, which is in England. And my brother and I, in our 20s, we actually did that walk there, and someone took a picture. But the brilliance of this is that there was a rumor at that time in 1968 or 9 or so, and 67 actually on Sgt. Pepper album, that Paul McCartney had died. And so the Beatles played into this. And for those of you that have listened to Sgt. Pepper, there's one song called "A Day in the Life," where that one line is, he blew his mind out in a car. They said in a car. It's actually car. They didn't realize that the lights had changed, and people thought they were talking about Paul McCartney dying. And if you listen to the last song, or the very end of Strawberry Fields, and you wind it backwards, it says, "I buried Paul." Whatever. A lot of people say it's cranberry sauce, which I'm going to eat today at Thanksgiving. And so they played into that big time. And even the White Album, if you open up the White Album, the insert shows a picture of Paul in the bathtub. People thought he was dead. And so this is a funeral procession. The Beatles played into this. They had fun with this. As follows. This is mind-blowing. This is John Lennon at the front, of course, and he's the priest. Then you have Ringo Starr, who's the pallbearer, I guess the guy that carries the coffin. At the back, you have the gravedigger, which is George Harrison. He's wearing jeans. And then here you have Paul McCartney in bare feet, and with a cigarette symbolizing death, because smoking is awful. And if you look really closely, and I won't be able to do this, it's not a high quality image, but right here on the Volkswagen Beetle, whatever, it's funny, it says 28 if, meaning if Paul McCartney was alive, then he would be 28. So anyway, it's kind of interesting. But when that song, A Day in the Life, he blew his mind out in a car, that was actually reference to one of the offspring of the Guinness family in Ireland who had passed away in a car accident. Yeah. But the bottom line there is you gotta use controversy to sell. It works exceptionally well. Madonna's been doing it forever as she changes her style every couple of years to keep up with the time by partnering with Nicki Minaj, Justin Timberlake, and all these other people that are younger and stuff. But controversy works exceptionally well, and it's free advertising too. All right, so let me get back to Big Chris mode. Let me go and get my questions here. But Nick, my favorite part of the Abbey Road album is the second half, the medley, which Paul McCartney did. He's amazing. And he did that actually on a couple other albums of his, like Red Rose Speedway, as well as Ram, and a couple others, yeah. All right, and Gurpreet is saying, what's your opinion on the rally in Indian stock markets instead of the gloom of macro indicators? I don't know. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know. If you don't know why a market's gone up a lot, maybe it's because people are anticipating that interest rates are going to stay lower than expected for a little bit longer. And if interest rates are low, people say, I don't want to put money in the bank because interest rates are low in the bank. I'll take money out of the bank and I'll put it in the stock market. Maybe it's due to a more favorable politician that might be or is leading the country, that sort of thing. Who knows? Or maybe it's because the economy is doing well, like GDP growth, meaning the revenue for the country is growing a bit more than people had expected. Yeah. Okay. Next up is Jason, who's he's living in Florida, but he's from Australia. Jason saying, "G'day, happy Thanksgiving. You're in Nashville, Tennessee today. Okay, cool." And you wrote, I'd love to buy and wear a polo shirt with Haroun Education MBA on it. Good conversation starter for when I return to Australia looking for a new role. Excellent. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. So, pardon me. We've actually had a lot of people reach out and say they want to get merch. So we're going to do it at some point, but what I'll do is I'll have it at a third party and I'll make sure you can all buy it at cost. And the same thing with the MBA degrees, which I had a couple made. They look amazing. I'm going to show you on day one in the first 30 seconds of the first class. You're going to be able to, after you graduate, get access to those degrees if you want to put on the wall, that sort of thing. And there's going to be a graduation ceremony on December 5th, 2020, in person and virtual as well. I'll tell you more about that during the fourth semester, though. All right. And then Eric's saying it's getting better every week. Thank you. I know we had a our first webcast was awful, but it's getting better. Yeah, falafel. That's Arabic food, by the way, too. Falafel. And if you eat too much of it, you'll feel awful. Bad humor? No, I'll stop. Sorry. Okay, and Andrew Yumi Dupree, who's American living in Canada, which is the inverse of me, Canadian living in America. Good guy. I met with Andrew before here, actually 5 minutes away from my parents' house here. He wrote, happy Canadian Thanksgiving, Chris. Same to you, brother. Thank you. Always great to have you. And Melody is saying Saturday Night Live. Okay, good. Okay, so Melody got it first. Okay, so I asked earlier, what does this mean? More cowbell. And Melody actually got it right. I'm going to dim the screen for a second here just to fix the focus. There we go. All right. Melody got it right. So Melody, I don't think you're in the MBA degree program. So you get 5 courses for free. So Melody, please email. Just email admissions@harounventures.com, even though I know you're not in the program. And just mention you get 5 courses for free and name those 5 courses, okay? And then Wrigley, my COO, will get back to you. Thanks. All right, but yeah, no, it is more cowbell. That's yeah, you're right. Eric or Travis is saying Christopher Walken, Blue Oyster Cult SNL sketch. That's right, a Champagne. I remember that years ago. Christopher Walken. God bless him, he's getting old. I wish he was in more movies. He's not though. They gave him a standing ovation at the Oscars last year though. Yeah, it was Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live who he was playing cowbell, and if you look really closely, actually, there's that guy that does late night TV. I can't remember his name. I'm tired. I'm sorry, but he cracked up during the live session of that. It was genius. It was genius. And by the way, that skit on Saturday Night Live and a lot of skits then, and a lot even now, or actually now I should say, are filmed with this same camera I have. This old 2012 DSLR camera. It's a Canon 5D Mark III. Yeah. Yeah, good job. And Melody, the camera looks just as good as your Canon M50. Yeah. Okay. Andrew's asking where I am. Yeah, I'm right by. Remember where I met you last time here in Canada, right by University of Toronto, Arundel Branch, Mississauga, at my parents' place. Yeah, yeah. All right. Andrew said you got the email, open the envelope, but no money inside. Yeah, no money yet. Yeah, soon. I'll send you Bitcoin, okay? And then, okay, you guys talking to each other. Okay, cool. Yeah, Adam said more cowbell is a comedy drama aired in 2000. That sounds like a Google copy and paste. Or Wikipedia. No, I love it. This skit cracks me up. Will Ferrell's such a genius, dude. He's so funny. And he hosted Saturday Night Live last week, too. He was brilliant. There's one puppet sketch he did, which was hysterical towards the end of the episode. Yeah. Okay. And Melody wrote, I like cranberries too. The stuff out of the can, and it does taste amazing with turkey. I love it. I love it. And then we're going to Christine's mom and dad's house for dinner tonight, and then tomorrow is the 80th birthday celebration for Christine's dad. And Christine's mom she's Greek. Yeah. Actually, it's not yeah. You're supposed to say yeah. Right, Asamina? Am I saying that right? Yeah. Instead of just yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tzatziki, which is the best food ever. Okay. All right. So Jason is saying, will there be a possibility of a coffee meeting during your busy week throughout the year in place of the online one-on-one? I'll be in San Francisco area in late June. Yeah, sure. If I'm not, if I'm in San Francisco, yes. If I'm out of San Francisco, like vacation with the kids or whatever it is, then unfortunately no. But yeah, I don't see why not, man. It'd be great to meet you. Yeah. All right. Next up, the Aquahood is saying, I was on the CISI website and found myself on what looked like an excellent dashboard. I thought whoever created the page must have done Chris's financial analyst course. Thank you. Yeah, I nerded out in that course. I had so much fun, man. But I'm creating a dashboard on steroids for the MBA Degree Program starting next week. It'll be fun. Yeah, I love Excel. It's fun. And then Solly is saying, will there be any projects we can work on it, or should we just have our own projects? Yeah. So there will be group projects, yeah. But what we're going to do is initially, after each class, there's going to be a quiz that you have to complete within 7 days. And then we're going to do the more advanced stuff, like more, we'll do more group projects and whatnot in probably the second half or maybe second semester. The first semester, I want to lay the groundwork, just the foundations, yeah. But there will be a lot of opportunity for group work, and we're setting up a Slack channel today. So you can all communicate with each other as well. Yeah. And Solly, similar to how you used Zoom video from your house in Lithuania, that same technology, which is free for you all to use, you guys can use to do meetings with each other. Or what you can do is, and I'll be doing this, I'll have it set up so there's like 5 or 6 people presenting at the same time for when you do group projects. Yeah. All right. You read my mind, Solly. I just answered the Slack question. Yeah. Thanks. And then Andrew Dupree is saying, hey, Chris, please let me know if you're in Mississauga and have time to meet up. I'd love to, dude. I'm so jammed. So I got in late last night. And then tonight there's Christine's house. And then tomorrow Christine's dad's party. And then first thing Saturday I fly back. It's been crazy. And that's why I say I'm kind of raspy or tired. I wasn't going to miss this for you guys, right? So, but next time for sure. And I feel bad because one of my students a couple weeks ago in Mississauga here wanted to meet up, and I had to cancel it because I just don't. It's just too hectic, the schedule. But yeah, thanks. All right. And Michael Jordan Elcock. And whenever Michael Jordan asks a question, I always bring up the sign I bought from Etsy, which of course I don't have with me because I'm not in the United States today. But that quote says from Michael Jordan, the basketball player, I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. Yeah. And Michael sent me a wonderful email about getting accepted in the MBA program. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And Michael's saying, good morning and happy Thanksgiving. Same to you, dude. Thank you. And Asamina is saying, when it comes to Budapest, I managed to walk the whole city in 2 days, and Hungarian food is amazing. That's awesome. I'd love to go there. I absolutely love to go to Budapest. I'm embarrassed to say this, but the most I've ever seen it is during the movie Taken 2 or 3 when he's on the rooftops. What a beautiful city. I'd love to go. Yes, Melody, you're right. It is Sinbad and Arnold in Jingle All the Way. I made a mistake there. Thanks. I haven't seen Sinbad in years. And so Asmin is saying, as the game deadline, it's PLE. Okay. And then Melody's saying, you love Christmas Vacation. Me too. And then Michael Jordan Elcock saying, can't believe we're only 4 days away from 0 hour on December 2nd for the MBA program. It's awesome. I know. I'm excited. Very slightly nervous, but like a good nervous, excited. And I've done all the classes and they're all completed, whatever, for the first month. And I've got the roadmap all done. But I got to be honest with you, like a week or two ago when I was doing work on it and I ran into some issues, but I fixed them, thank God. I felt like I always do when I embark upon big projects in my life. I felt like I was looking over the edge of a cliff, and I do this to myself a lot. Don't worry, not that way. But looking over the edge of a cliff, and I threw a bunch of airplane parts off. And I have to jump off the cliff. I jump off the cliff, and I assemble the airplane before I land. Like I thrive on that pressure of pushing the goalpost out and putting pressure on myself. But I think you're all going to be incredibly happy with the end results. We've got a lot of new tricks up our sleeves, a lot of different backdrops. There's going to be 96 different backdrops. It's insanity how much we're putting into it. And I'm going to lose money on it, but I don't care. It's just something I want to do. Yeah. Okay. And then Asmina is saying, your video game you're making, you're saying it's playable, but not up to the standards I want it to be. So it is bugging me a lot. And there are people coming over, so I'll be tour guiding as well. So yeah, it's hard. I'm so sorry that you're going through that pressure. It's tough. Yeah, I would delay it. Yeah. Or just release a small part of it. Like video game companies do this all the time, Asmina. Like The Last of Us has been delayed, by Naughty Dog Studios. Last of Us Part 2, I should say, a number of times. A lot of great video games, actually most of the great ones are delayed. I'm sure Grand Theft Auto, the new version, was supposed to be out next year, but that's not going to happen. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. And Michael the Aquahood from England is saying, I'm still waiting to get some nice pictures of my local area in London for your green screen, but the weather has been terrible these past couple of weeks. I'm on it though, Chris. I'm on it though. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and one or two of you sent over pictures like I asked for my green screen background. Unfortunately, this is not a green screen, but when I get back to the United States for next week's call, I'll roll down the green screen and I'll put your backdrops in. It'll be fun. Okay. Yeah, I love the history in London too, Michael. And Michael, I'm sure you've done this. Check out the Churchill War Rooms. It's amazing, dude. It's close to Buckingham Palace, as you know, obviously. And Winston Churchill's office during World War II and all of his staff is underground there, kept perfectly intact, including the sugar cubes and all that stuff. And yeah, it's amazing. All right, and then Melody is saying, I was having such a hard time last month. I promised myself that I would not give up on my dreams and that I will do everything I can while still trying to make 100% of my time with my family. And you wrote, "You're so right. Thinking about past achievements and how close you are to the present helps too." And I know I'm burned out, and I'm a bit burned out too, to be intellectually honest. Part of my voice is that, but more so because I didn't get much sleep last night when I was setting all this up. Yeah. Douglas Investor, who was the former CEO and chairman of Coca-Cola, he said, you never want your dreams to be big, or you never want your memories to be bigger than your dreams. So always look forward, and don't worry. And Melody, if I can help you with your courses, whatever, just let me know. Ask me questions here. If I can, humbly help you, get them done faster or whatever it takes. Yeah, but you got to take time out. I know it's tough too when you have a side hustle. I get it. It's like you're a teacher full time, which is true. You mentioned you are. And then you've got this other side hustle job and you're trying to be a great parent. It's tough. And that's why I recommend having a daily schedule. And Melody, and I've talked about it before, you can go to my website, harounventures.com/ all lowercase this word, schedule. Okay, harounventures.com/ lowercase schedule, and download a PowerPoint presentation or a PowerPoint version of my one pager. And I have a one pager on steroids for the MBA Degree Program students. I'll show you next Monday, students. But do that, Melody. That might help you kind of be even more balanced. But you got to take your breaks as well. And I'm guilty. I feel like a hypocrite sometimes, man, because I talk about you got to take your breaks and take one day off a week. And I've violated that recently just because I've been so focused on this MBA program. But anyway, it's therapeutic. I got to take more breaks. Yeah, and I will. That's why I'm in Canada. Sort of. All right. Vital in the house. Vital, how are you, bud? And I hope Caleb, right? That's the name of your son you mentioned. I hope you're doing well, bud. Vital is right. Hi, Chris. Hope you're doing well. Your studio looks awesome. When do newborn babies get their tax identification number in the United States and Canada? My boy, very first mail comes in a few days after, November 7th. It's so funny how when I first read that, I read July 7th, but it's November 7th. And in the MBA degree program, I actually reversed that in a couple of places because I have to think internationally. I think we got the birth certificate. I think that was when we got the tax identification numbers for our kid or whatever it was. I can't remember. And then what we did is we set up 409 programs. And you can do this in Germany and every country, where it's kind of like a retirement savings program where you can put a lot of money aside for your kids' education. It's tax-free, and I'm humbled to say that we've done it completely for our 3 kids. But we started when they were born, started putting money in that way, and everybody's got to do it. Great to have you, bud. Great to have you. And we talked about you earlier in the call. Not sure if you were with us, but yeah. Okay, and then Noman is saying, and actually I had a client named Noman Ali in Toronto at Manulife when I used to work at Goldman. Really smart guy. So Noman is saying, hi, Chris. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. I study IT management undergrad, and the goal is now to end up in venture capital. What would be an ideal execution plan for the goal? Yeah. So I don't. A lot of people want to go into venture capital when they're younger, and I don't recommend doing it because you might, if you network and work hard, yes, you might be able to get a job in VC. But you won't be able to progress to make partner and general partner, all that stuff. Because what happens is, and I don't recommend anybody going to venture capital until you've started at least one company. It doesn't matter if it's successful or not. But, pardon me, what happens is when you work in venture capital, obviously you invest in companies and you sit on boards of companies. And when you sit on those boards, you're supposed to give advice based on your experience starting companies. And if you haven't started a company before, you're not going to be able to add value. And you probably won't even get the opportunity to invest in that company or that board seat, which becomes a moot point. So you got to start at least one company, hopefully multiple companies, before even thinking about doing venture capital. Yeah. But no, man, what you can do is if you want to go down that route and not listen to me, which is cool, go to my website and download my free networking book. So that's harounventures.com. Download my networking book. And what you can do is you can set up a lot of informational meetings with people that work in venture capital and then make the career change using the 200-page book I mentioned. Read that book. I promise you it works. Yeah. Hold on one second. Oh, I just got an alert. It says Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Vital, I'm excited to write the business plan with you, or partner with you at least, man. I see your name there. It's awesome. All right, Melody is saying pitch deck. I just bought that presentation course yesterday. Awesome. That will help out a lot. And then Mercy is saying, I'm thrilled. I'm in the MBA program. Thank you. By the way, I sent an email today to Wrigley. I did not copy you last week. Now that I have your word, I'm relieved. No need to do anything else. Yeah. So okay, I just got a message from my dad. You guys probably won't be able to see that. But if you guys haven't watched the beginning of this presentation, of this live webcast, go to the beginning now and then come back to live after you watch the beginning. Fast forward through. It's 2 or 3 minutes. And what I did was I pranked my parents. It's really bad what I did. I mean, it's really juvenile, which is to be accepted for me. But my dad watched it, and he wrote. And I did a lot of things here in this apartment. He wrote. Gamal Haroun wrote, "I hope you're enjoying my office. I love your sense of humor. So please leave the mustaches and don't ever change. Thanks, Dad. I love you." That's awesome. So if you guys get a chance, actually just stop watching me right now. Just go watch the beginning of this webcast and then come back to live. And then you'll see what my dad's referring to. Thanks, Dad. I love you. This is my dad's office. All right. I meant for it to be a surprise. I didn't know my parents would be watching this. They're out of town. They're in Florida now. But okay. All right. So A Mercy wrote, I'm thrilled you're in the MBA. Thank you. By the way, I sent an email only to Wrigley. I did not copy you last week. Now that I have your word, I'm relieved. No need to do anything else. You know what? A Mercy, do me a favor. Send me your email address, okay, to my text here, okay? And then what I'll do is I'm going to send you details on how to access the course. And all that stuff, because you won't be able to get in on day one without the password and all that stuff. So send me a text with your email right now, and I'll respond to you. Thanks. And sorry that we didn't get back to you faster. And then Mercy's saying, this MBA is that one I hope I'm holding on to, Chris. Thank you for accepting me. My pleasure. Thank you for your interest as well. And I'm sorry about the mess up on our end, but 100% you're guaranteed you've been accepted. And Michael the Aquid is saying, there's been talk of a bubble in ETFs, meaning exchange traded funds. And for those of you not familiar with ETFs, that basically means it's like a mutual fund, except it's just a bunch of stocks you can buy that represent an index. Like the S&P 500 index is 500 stocks that represents the U.S. economy. An ETF or exchange traded fund for the S&P 500, which has the ticker SPY. That ETF index allows you to buy all 500 stocks in the S&P 500 by buying that one ticker SPY. So the question is, there's been talk recently of a bubble in ETFs. Some say they're inflated in price and could be a pop of a bubble next year. What's your opinion on this, Chris? Yeah. So I'm not really worried about that, because ETFs are just a broader representation of what's in an underlying index. Or what's in underlying basket of commodity stocks or commodities in general. And so from an arbitrage opportunity, they're usually priced for perfection, at least the quality ones. So stick with Vanguard and Schwab as well, who just bought Ameritrade. I can't believe that. Amazing. But just stick with those if you can. And S&P has them as well. Yeah. And I don't think those are inflated because they're so liquid, meaning they trade a lot. And if there's ever any sort of arbitrage opportunity, a lot of tech bot related trading algorithms close that gap immediately. Yeah. All right. Next up is Vitalis saying the tax ID was written on the same day he was born. German tax is crazy. Wow, man. That's German efficiency. That's cool. All right, Melody's writing, I bought that interview, a LinkedIn and interview course. I'll be using it. Awesome. Thank you. And I pride myself on teaching, not just based on my limited whatever successes in life. That was the most Canadian comment ever, by the way. But I also pride myself on teaching based on failures. And that's why I think the job course I have, the complete job course, is really helpful, because I teach you what to do and what not to do. And I've actually conducted, I've been on the other side of the table, I've conducted more than 1,000 interviews in my career. That's a lot. That's a lot. So anyway, I've seen it all. All right. Let's see here. Michael is writing, hello, Chris. Where did you get your More Cowbell t-shirt, please? I just love it. I'm a big percussionist, and this resonates with me. Thanks. I actually bought it. I think I bought it either on Amazon or on eBay. And I bought this t-shirt. For those of you who have taken my video production masterclass course, the complete video camera course, I bought it. As you all know, I had a lot of t-shirts for every single lecture. I went all out. I wanted a wardrobe. I wanted to just have fun with it, right? And I bought this shirt and an actual cowbell, and I was going to use it to teach people how to do audio, like how to know if something's in stereo and whatnot. And at the last second, I gutted that part of the course because I decided that I have to appeal to the large total addressable market, and a lot of people wouldn't understand the humor of more cowbell. And I'm sure a lot of people on this call are like, WTF, which, if my mom's watching, means why the face? But not everyone gets the humor. Yeah, and I'm trying to be global and not just North American centric, so to speak. But I'm glad you recognize it. Thanks. And more cowbell, by the way. All right. So next up is, sir, if you have a stock in your portfolio which is giving you a good return in a very short period, and if it looks like its price is going to go down, when is the right time to sell or hold? Thanks. Yeah. So a couple things. Number one, I want you to be a long-term shareholder always. I don't want you to be a tourist or rent stocks. I want you to always think longer term. Number two, before you invest in a stock, I want you to write a one-pager on what you think the stock is worth, your thoughts on the qualitative side of it, the quantitative side of it, valuation technology, or valuation technicals and fundamentals. Okay. And I want you to come up with a target price. And I don't want you to sell the stock until it hits your target price. And if one day you wake up and you're panicking because the stock is falling because there's a new piece of news, I want you to go get that one piece of paper you wrote in the past and look at it and ask yourself as you're reading it, had I known about this new piece of information that just came out, would I have still bought that stock in the first place? If the answer is no, sell it. So I recommend never selling a stock until it hits your target price. And I want you to think long term. You can take my complete financial analyst training course for more details on how to come up with target prices for stocks. Now, also be mindful of taxes in whatever country you're based. Most governments tend to reward you for being a patient investor. How? Because in a lot of countries, taxes are higher if you make a profit on something within 1 year, but taxes are lower if you have longer term capital gains, meaning if you sell a stock or some investment after a year, meaning you hold it for more than a year. So just think of that. Last thing I'll say is this, though. Yes, I do hold on to my stocks for a long period of time until I hit my target prices, and I've done well that way. However, if a stock runs up post an event, an earnings event or whatever, and it's overbought from a relative strength indicator perspective, or it's closed a gap in the chart, I won't go there unless you want me to, or if it's held a moving average, I might take a little bit of profits and just trade around it. It's just fun. But that's a very small part of the position. You know, I pride myself on being a very long-term investor and not really doing much with technicals, although I do pay attention to them. All right. And then the Aqua is saying, Michael is saying, sadly, I'm not in the MBA program. My medical bills cleared me out last month, which forced me to miss the deadline. I'm hoping to get it on the list. So if any places come up on the course, I could squeeze in. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing all right, man. Hope you're doing all right. You mentioned medical bills, but I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, yeah. And if you're on the waiting list, you would have gotten a message back by now. And if you're not sure where you stand, you can always email admissions@harounventures.com. Yeah, it really knows who's on the waiting list, who's not. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, but I hope everyone's okay with you. And if you haven't signed up, you can do it next year, right? So we're for those that haven't applied yet, please don't apply because we're massively oversubscribed with a waiting list. But we're going to do the same thing next year as well. So yeah. And then Cornell wrote, which one do you like out of all the books back there? Oh my God, what a great question, dude. All right, so I'm in my dad's office. And actually, I blurred it on purpose because I'm not going there. Yes, I am going there. Dad, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I'm going there. All right, hold on one second. So what I'm going to do is I want to show you guys what I'm doing. Okay, so Melody, you'll like this. You can do this on your Canon M50 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. This is the f-stop so that more stuff is in focus behind me. It's going to mess up the lighting, which I'll fix in a second. So here we go. I'm going to go here. I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm going to crank the ISO way up. All right, hold on. As high as I can go. I actually have to go a little bit lower here. Hold on. There we go. Good. Good. It's going to be grainy as heck, but it'll still work. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get my head out of the way, and I'm going to focus on the back so I can show you. Okay, that's focused there. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to answer that question of what book. All right, hold on. All right. Here I go. And I guess I have to go full screen now. It's a problem with doing these live sessions. It's tough. All right, so you asked what book do I like? Gosh, it's tough. Oh, I mean, I'm Christian, so you all obviously know the #1 one, but I'll show you what else there is. Dude, I don't know, man. It's hard. Let's see here. Here's a bunch. I've read all these. Hold on. All right. I'm back. All right, I got a couple books to show you here, some of which I studied in university. I'll explain how in a second. Hold on one second. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to share my screen so I can show all of you that want to nerd out like I do with cameras. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to beautiful bokeh mode. Okay, the lighting's going to be messed up, but don't worry, I'll fix that in a second. Okay, it's okay. I'm still here. I'm lowering the ISO back down to 250. Okay. And then I'm out of focus, so I'm going to focus on my face. Focusing on my face. Come on, Chris. Am I there? Nope, still focused on the back. Hold on. Focus. Oh, boy. Hold on, guys. There we go. Eureka. All right, back in focus. I'm back. All right, so you asked me what books in the bookshelf, and I was laughing because my dad has a lot of medical imaging books on. I'm not going there. My dad, by the way, he's a radiologist, which means he fixes radios, right, Dad? He does other stuff too. Okay, he does also ultrasound, mammography, and other stuff as well. So here's here's one book I like, right? It's an autobiography on Lee Iacocca, and this guy, he's amazing. So he turned around Chrysler. Chrysler, big automotive company before Daimler kind of merged them and then unmerged years ago. But Chrysler was a company that was going to go belly up. And great automotive product for years, but they had issues competing with the Japanese back in the 70s and 80s. They were about to go belly up. And so what Lee Iacocca did was he said, you know what, dude? And he came from Ford. He said, hire me for $1. And that's what he did. He turned it around. It was the best turnaround in corporate history. He turned the company around, and it wasn't about the money for him. He just wanted to do it. It was awesome. So he thought with his heart first, his mind second. What he also did was he offered unparalleled customer service. Like if anything goes wrong with your Chrysler cars for 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, there's a warranty on it, no questions asked. And so he did two things that I really respect. Number one, he thought with his heart, right? It wasn't about the money first. And secondly, he realized that a company is only as good as its customer service. So that's that book. Let's see what else there is. Guy looks like my grandpa. Hey, Mom, that looks like your dad a bit. Okay. Next up, I've got Michael Crichton, Rising Sun. I like Michael Crichton's stuff. It's great. Although, in hindsight now, thinking about this book, it's probably very politically incorrect. And they made a movie out of it too with Wesley Snipes and Sean Connery. I miss Sean Connery. He retired from acting in 1983. And something fell out of this. I don't know what that is. Some sort of card. My dream is that a Mickey Mantle rookie card will fall out. Another one is here. Just I'm a baseball fan. So anyway, just this guy was my childhood hero, Ernie Witt. And he wrote a book. And I remember I asked him for an autograph. And he looked at me and said, "Kid, relax." I was like, well, whatever. So, and I got to tell y'all a quick story about Rickey Henderson. You're going to laugh at me. Okay, so Rickey Henderson, for those you don't know, I met him. He's probably the fastest athlete in history. He has the most stolen bases in baseball history. He's in the Hall of Fame. And my mom, my parents were in Florida now. They've had this place in Fort Lauderdale forever. And in the 80s, they had it. And I went down there, and the New York Yankees had their spring training at that point in Fort Lauderdale. They've since moved. And I was 12 or so. And my mom took me to a New York Yankees spring training game. And Don Mattingly, who's my hero, whatever, I got to see him there, which is cool. And Rickey Henderson was there. And I asked Rickey Henderson very politely for an autograph in front of my mom and in front of tons of people. And I said, "Rickey, can I please get your autograph?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Kiss my ass, kid." He said that. He told me. It was the funniest thing. Here I am, this overly polite Canadian thinking, what the hell's going on? But anyway, that did happen. It did happen. And he actually lives like a 3-minute walk from where I live right now in a town called Hillsborough in California. It's pretty funny. And he got $1 million signing bonus 1 year from the Oakland A's. And then a year later, the Oakland A's management team called him and said, "Why haven't you cashed that check yet?" And he's like, and he said, it's a true story, he said, "Because I framed it and put it on my wall." All right, a lot of funny Rickey Henderson stories. All right, let me go back here, see what I have next. Thanks for the question, Canal. I loved it. And then Melody is saying, "Thanks so much for showcasing us the background, Chris. I'm going to make sure I use my electrical tape for this too." Thanks. Yeah. And for those who are not familiar with what just happened there, so because I have these lights here on some of the glass shelves, you could see reflection. So I took black electrical tape and I put it over the glass there. And Mom and Dad, if you're watching from Florida, don't worry, it comes off. Yeah. And the mustaches do too. Okay, and then Michael is saying, "I will study your British accents." Oh, you won't be able to see it. That's right, Duke. So you're not going to be in the. Okay, I'll do it now then. I guess. I reckon I'm going to study a British accent. Cheerio, Rice Krispies, Cocoa Puffs. Feel free to do an impersonation today. I'm well known for being able to mimic any accent from any part of the world within minutes of first hearing it. That was awful. But I did rehearse a lot and recorded it, a better version with my Ron Burgundy hair. Damn it, I ruined it for day one of the MBA Degree Program. Oh, dude, you have a very similar accent to Michael Caine, the Cockney Boys. That's awesome. Michael Caine's been in like every movie ever, like more movies than Samuel L. Jackson. He's been in every movie ever made ever. Yeah. Then Travis is saying, "I appreciate the Thanksgiving live chat. It's the only one I can watch because I'm off work." Awesome. Thank you, Travis. Thank you. And Siddharth is saying, "Hey, Chris, good morning. Good morning. Do you think analytics and business intelligence tools will replace Excel as basic necessity for business activities? I'm planning to learn one of them. Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, I don't think Excel will ever be replaced. Look, they're losing market share to Google Sheets, but Microsoft has adapted by making a subscription-based service and making Excel a cheap offering as part of Office 365. And too many people use Excel and love it, myself included, in the financial industry especially. So I don't think they'll get rid of it. It's here to stay. It's here to stay. And people only use 5% of what Excel can do. The other 95% only super techies use. But what Google Sheets is just that 5% part. That's it. But Excel can do a lot more advanced stuff. So I don't think it's going away ever. I love it. I love it. And actually, as part of my MBA degree requirements page, you have to have Excel. And I wrote that in the application process too. And then you said, what should I learn? So if you're going to learn one BI tool, I'd probably learn Tableau, which used to be ticker DATA, data, pretty cool ticker, which Salesforce bought recently. And I met with Crichton back in 2012 before the IPO. Morgan Stanley, the investment bankers, used to send me a lot of companies, and I'd meet with them, and I'd give them companies advice on how to sell themselves better in the IPO roadshow. And so Crichton was one of the guys I met with from Tableau. And this guy was, my God, this guy can sell. He's amazing. He's incredible. And I knew the company was going to be extraordinarily successful, not just because of the product, because more importantly, because of the jockey. The jockey is more important than the horse. And Crichton is an amazing presenter. He's great. So check out Tableau. It's really easy software to use. You don't have to know any coding. It's drag and drop, and it works great. And it's kind of like a pivot table in Excel, but more advanced, obviously. And when I met with Crichton back in 2012 in New York, what he did was he showed me on an old beat up Dell laptop. He downloaded literally 90 million of lines of data from American Airlines. And he downloaded the Tableau software, and he's able to slice and dice the data, make really cool graphics and all that fun stuff. So check out Tableau first. I'd start with that. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Valens. Hey, Chris, thank you for your daily vlog. You should do more of them. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I can't believe we're on what are we on now? Day 488 or something. And I told all my students that that I would vlog every single day for the next 10 years. And so I'm like a year and a half into it. We're getting better at technology here, cameras and stuff, but I got a long way to go. Yeah. I think you'll enjoy today's and tomorrow's too. They're very special. And they both drop at 9 a.m. San Francisco time daily. Yeah. All right. And then Michael Jordan is saying Taylor Swift is a genius in marketing. She is too. She is. Yeah. And I felt old when I saw that her album 2 albums ago, 1989 was the title of the year she was born. I was 17 then. Yeah. Yeah. No, she is good. She's good. Yeah. Yeah. And Melody is saying, I don't know if this helps, but I saw SanDisk's cards on sale at Walmart for $14. Since I'm doing video, these cards really help. Yeah, no, they're great. And don't ever buy, when you buy a camera or any memory card for a camera, a flash drive or CF card or CF 2.0, whatever it is, don't ever be cheap. I'm talking to everybody, myself included. You spend all this money on a great camera. Don't, always buy the best brands. And you did the right thing. SanDisk is an amazing brand. Yeah. It's amazing how memory keeps coming down in price, though. It's incredible. Just incredible. Yeah. All right. And then Melody's saying, Chris, I'm surprised you don't have merch for your channel. I looked. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think we'll do that soon. I just got to figure out a way to do it. And I've had a lot of custom shirts made for the MBA degree program for my wardrobe. For example, I have one which says MHS, which is Morgan Haroun Sachs, which for those of you who took my complete financial analyst course, that's a fictitious investment bank that we're setting up so that you'll all be part of as part of the MBA degree program. A lot of role playing. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah. You'll get to be an investment banker. Sorry. Problem with doing these live calls is I have that Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, event like from the Super Bowl of 2003 where if I say something off cuff, I'm screwed. There should be a delay. There is a delay in the Super Bowl now, I think. Yeah. Okay, so Gaurav is saying, what's the scope of risk management? So it's kind of a broad question. So I always think of risk management on a single stock basis and a broader portfolio basis. So single stock basis, I always think of risk reward, meaning upside, downside. Obviously, I want the upside to be much more than the downside, which can be a technical level. Okay. From a broader portfolio management perspective, the way I think about risk management is I usually don't have more than 5% of my liquid net worth, meaning outside my house and property and stuff. I don't have more than 5% of my liquid net worth invested in any one stock or investment class. And I also don't have more than, let's just say, roughly 20% of my liquid net worth in any particular sector, meaning in the financial services sector, investments, manufacturing companies, commodities, whatever it is. So that's how I think about it. And so if you take my complete personal finance course, I provide you with a dashboard that I used and I created myself in Excel to kind of manage part of my hedge fund. And that dashboard will help you create a portfolio and very sophisticated risk management and easy and fun to understand stuff, so that no more than a certain percentage of your net worth is in stocks, bonds, real estate, or commodities. And the way we look at real estate on that dashboard is we look at REITs, REITs, real estate investment trusts, which are like stocks, but by law in most countries, 90% of their profits have to be paid out via dividends. And Belvir is saying, namaste from India. Namaste. Reminds me of baby pose. I don't know why. My wife took me to yoga. It was Bikram yoga. We had to do that baby pose thing. I couldn't do it, man. It was hard. Bikram yoga is hot, man. It's hot, but it's awesome. And I know that Mercy, who's on this call, is almost done with her book on 30 yoga tips to change your life. And I can't wait to read it. Thank you. Oh, and Juan David, actually. I don't know if Juan David's on the call, but he's one of our incredible students, and I wrote the foreword for his book he just published, and the Chicago Tribune just profiled it. But this guy, it's an amazing story. He came from Venezuela, very, very tough upbringing, very tough. He lives in Chicago now, and he's a rock star, and he's only 16. Yeah. And you might remember, Melody, he was on the same call you were on back on October 31st. I think he came on right just before you came on live. And he asked me to do a forward intro to his book and help him out with other stuff. And I told him I was too busy. And then I read his book and I was like, oh my God, this thing's amazing. And after Thanksgiving that night, I actually stayed up an extra 3 hours and I helped him with that. And anyway, one day if you're on the call, congratulations. And I tweeted about you a couple times yesterday too. Yeah. All right. Next up is Prem is saying hi. Hey, Prem. Esmin is saying, yes, you pronounce them both perfectly, meaning yaya and yaya. And then you said, did you try the cookies, by the way? Yeah, so Christine's mom makes these cookies and so Esmina, for those who aren't familiar, she lives in Belgium, but she's Greek heritage, and she works at Ryanair. And she's making a badass video game coming out soon. And she asked me, do I try cookies? And I'm assuming you mean the Greek cookies. So what Christine's mom does is she makes these cookies every Christmas, and then they use a fork around it, which is supposed to signify the crown, Orthodox, right? So yeah. And I'm wearing a very nice flanella today. Yeah. I know it's not a flanella. That means undershirt, right, in Greek? Yeah. I hear Christine saying that to the kids. All right, Vipul saying, good morning, Chris. Hope everything is good. Thank you, Vipul. Things are awesome. Thanks. Melody's saying, Chris, do you do Elf on the Shelf for your kids? I'm just thinking of that because somebody sent me a really rude Elf on the Shelf email with 20 awful Elf on the Shelf images. Yeah, and for those who are not familiar with Elf on the Shelf, I didn't know what this was until I moved to America. So Elf on the Shelf means before Christmas, you want your kids to be good and stuff, and you can say Santa's watching you, but also there's an elf on a shelf watching you, and they put the elf on the I gotta show you guys this because this cracks me up. I had no idea what this was, but probably gonna get myself into trouble here. It's okay because this is a rated 18 and over webcast. I actually entered that in this morning, so I can do whatever the hell I want now, sort of. So I'm gonna show you Elf on the Shelf, the funny ones, and I don't know what's gonna come up here, but it might be funny. It might be rude. If it's rude, it's not my fault. It's Google's fault, okay? Okay, Elf on the Shelf, rude. Okay, let's go here to Elf on the Shelf, rude. Let's see here. Oh God. Okay, I can't show some of these. Where there's some funny. Okay, this here is Pinterest 40 best naughty elf on the shelf images. Okay, adult only. I don't know if I should do this. Oh God. Red rum. That's from the movie The Shining. That's murder backwards. Yeah. Okay. We're not going there. We're not going. Elf on the shelf. Get out. Get out. Get out. I kicked Elf on the Shelf out. Okay, it's Google's fault. Okay, Google, it's your fault. I know you're doing all this stuff with YouTube, trying to filter stuff now, but it's your fault what we just saw there. Okay, and it wasn't my fault at all. Okay, that was whatever you saw there was Google's fault, not mine. Okay, so anyway, that's okay. All right, Solly is saying you like the video for using tape on your shelves to remove reflection. Yeah, which I put on back there. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mark 18 is saying, Chris, will you touch upon the MBA on IT, meaning information technology? It would be helpful for me as I have an engineering background in software and tech. I would like to leverage my current skill set with MBA, hopefully for others as well. I will. A lot, actually. A lot. Yeah. And I used to be a programmer as well, so I'm going to teach you guys a lot of advanced stuff as well. Actually, just an introduction to that during the third class or fourth class actually on December 10th. We're going to do just an introduction of financial statements, and we're going to be using Excel to do an exercise. And I'm going to show you all, and I'll have little links to videos, lots of unlisted videos. For those of you that have never used Excel or haven't programmed or done anything like that before, don't worry, it'll be fun and easy. All right. And then Melody is saying your dad is off and leave the mustache as well. And you wrote you saw it briefly, yeah. And so for those of you just joining us, what I did was when I got here late last night, I ordered from. I think I got it on eBay or Amazon. It was this big, and it had like 50 little mustaches on it, just little stickers. And I actually put them on. I can't show you right now; it's just over there. But I put them on all the outlets. So you got the plug. It looks like a guy with a mustache, funny. And then I got carried away last night. Probably why I sound raspy. Didn't get much sleep. I was laughing like a little kid. I put them on a lot of pictures as well. And other things in the house. Don't worry, Mom. It's the one with the glass pictures, not painting stuff, and statues. But I I actually put it at the beginning of this episode today. So if you go back and just watch the very first 3 minutes of this, and you can come back and join me live again in a minute or so, whatever. But go back and watch it. You'll see I did a quick video and I showed you and dude, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I was so tired last night after my flight from San Francisco. That when I showed you guys what I did with the mustaches, I actually showed you the same room twice, and I didn't even realize it. That's how tired I was. All right. Okay. And so Luciano Neves is saying, I'm inside a visual effects world for 20 years working on television and cinema. They don't have enough budgets to make great AD anymore. Must I change my focus for the game industry? Yeah. So you'd have to get, Luciano, you have to give me a little bit more detail on that. The game industry is very, very tough. It's very tough, unless you want to work at a big company. There are exceptions, like Asamina is going to make a kick-ass game and do exceptionally well. But you have to give me a little bit more details than that, right? There's a lot of demand always for technology skills, whether it's advanced Photoshop or I should say Premiere Pro, visual modeling, that sort of thing. And what I've been doing lately, it's a lot of fun, is I've been using Adobe Dimension product to make 3D models and stuff. And then what I do is I use those in PowerPoint to morph between slides. It's a lot of fun. I've been nerding out there, but there's definitely a lot of demand for anything VR based as well. So I don't know if you have to change to go to the gaming industry. I think that we're just starting with 3D modeling and whatnot, and advanced design. I hear a hammer next door, so I'm a little bit thrown off. You guys hear that? Dad, somebody's hammering on your wall. But anyway, I don't think I answered that correctly. But provide me more detail, and I'll answer it better for you, please. Yeah. Okay. All right. A Mercy said that you sent me a text. Dude, I didn't get a text from you unless it says unlisted. Hold on one second, okay? Hold on a second. Oh, dude, it went in my junk folder. That's why. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is hold on one second. I'm so sorry, guys, but I've got to do this now because I feel bad for. So take a 10-second break, guys. What I'm doing is I'm emailing. A Mercy right now. Okay, so A Mercy. Okay, so I started the email. I'm going to send it at the end of this, but I won't forget. I promise you. I promise you. Yeah, thanks. Okay, next up is Asamina. Oh, you're talking to Sully, sorry. So Noman is saying you want to do VC in the long run, and you're saying for now you're very confused between products management, meaning fintech, and consulting, meaning, and you put in brackets, IT and management. And you said you have 2 internships, a Barclay product management role and an Ernst & Young technology consulting role, and you wrote confused. So just the bottom line is just do what you're most passionate about. Always, always, always. Okay, just at the end of the day, you want to show up to work every day and do something you can't stand. What are we here for? What's the point? Do what you love most. There's that saying that if you chase your dreams, as long as you're willing to fail a couple times, and please fail a couple times, your dreams will come true and the money will follow accidentally. But if you do it just for the money, meaning you chase money, you'll lose your dreams and probably your money too in the long run, and your happiness. What's the point? Do what you love doing. It looks like Andrew Haroun, my son Dylan logged in, is saying, Dylan says hi from Andrew Haroun's account. Thank you. Oh, Dylan, if you're watching, remember last night you called me and we tried to FaceTime about the mustache thing and I couldn't show you because FaceTime didn't work. Go to the beginning of this video and watch the first 3 minutes and you'll see what I was talking about. And I'll see you soon at Yaya's house for dinner. I love you. All right, Abdul's saying, hey, Chris, how are you doing? I'm awesome, thank you. And then the question is, should I do a CFA? Meaning a Certified Financial Analyst designation, which is a 3-year designation where you write 3 exams over 3 years. It's very respected in the finance industry. Or should I do an MBA in finance? Which one is better? So, I think doing a CFA is probably better. And then on the side, while you're doing the CFA, in this way, you don't have to go to school full time and have crazy bills. But what I would do is this. On the side, I would read my networking book for free and set up a lot of informational meetings to get that coveted role in finance. Okay. So you can go to harounventures.com and download the book for free. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, it's tough. Now you're asking me the pros and cons of each. Well, the pro of the CFA is that you don't have to take 2 years off from your life and spend $100,000 on a crazy expensive degree. That might not be worth it. CFA doesn't cost very much, and you just write 3 exams. That's it, over 3 years. The pro of the MBA, it can take 1 to 2 years, whereas the CFA takes 3 years. That's con, I guess, if you want it faster. But I promise you that, like I did level 1 CFA. Level 1 in the CFA is going to teach you just as much about finance as an entire MBA will. In fact, level 2 and 3 for the CFA, that stuff, for the most part, is not taught in MBA schools, right? MBA schools don't really go into much detail on level 2 and 3. So I guess I would say read my networking book and try to change careers using what I teach you there, and take my complete job course too. There's a lifetime guarantee on it, and use the principles I teach you there. And if you try really, really hard and you still can't switch into finance, and I promise you'll be able to, then instead of the CFA, you might consider the MBA in finance. Yeah. Abdul is saying, why is there so much hype about McKinsey and Goldman Sachs? People look up to you if you're from these two firms. Why do people from these two firms have such bragging rights? Thanks. Yeah, that's a great question. So for those who are not familiar with McKinsey, it is probably the best consulting firm in the world. And there's this perceived brand with it, which I don't know why. I guess it's like Harvard, whatever, or Oxford or Cambridge. And I remember when I worked at Accenture in consulting, we all wanted to work at McKinsey in consulting. I don't know why. I guess because everyone said it was the best. Kind of like when I was younger, all of us wanted to be investment bankers. I don't know why. I guess because people said it's the best career. I don't think it is. So perception becomes reality, I guess, in that case. And McKinsey has a half decent, I say more than a half decent reputation historically. For helping companies to turn around. And the who's who used to work at McKinsey as well. You know, it's like Harvard, Yale, whatever. So Lou Gerstner, who, and I went to school with his son, God bless him, just passed away, Lou Gerstner Jr. But Lou Gerstner was the CEO of IBM, and he turned IBM around, which is amazing. And he wrote a great book about it called Who Said Elephants Can't Dance? And Lou Gerstner worked at McKinsey. And so have a lot of politicians as well, and a lot of successful people in business. It's kind of a great way to start a career before you actually move on to starting a company or become CEO somewhere. It's a good training ground. It's like getting a graduate degree. Same thing with Goldman Sachs. You know, Goldman is they have a great training program. I work there. They make mistakes. They let me in, but I loved it, and I don't think the smartest people work at Goldman. But I loved it because the interview process is so thorough so that the jerk factor is very low, because we all know that one jerk can destroy the culture of your company or your team or your group project at school. And so there's a very, very thorough process for interviewing at Goldman. I guess a lot of stuff I teach in my interview course maybe came from that. I don't know. But the jerk factor is low, and because of that, they're very productive. And then Goldman also has a very distinct culture. You can do a search on Goldman's 14 principles. And in the training program that I went through back in 2000, they sent me to London, Tokyo, New York, and the training program was amazing. It was like another graduate degree. So they're great. They take care of their employees as well. And I'm very humbled to work there. Yeah. All right. And Asamina is saying, a friend recently got fired and he wanted something to distract him, so I gave him stuff to do. Yeah. And then Rishba is saying, hello, Chris. Do you remember that last week you recommended me your networking book? I've completed 3/4 of that book. Awesome. Nicely done, dude. Nicely done. And there's 2 hours of video links, free video links on YouTube as well. And I promise you that will help you out tremendously. And I'm going to teach y'all, networking skills on steroids, much more stuff in the MBA program next week as well. So it's going to be fun. And I've never taught a course on sales before, but I actually created a couple of 3 to 6 hour classes on sales, which we'll be going through in the month of December for those of you in my MBA degree program. Yeah. All right, and Michael is saying, count me in for next year's course, Chris. I'll be the first to pay. My word is my bond with a positive yield curve. I love it. Thank you. And Michael's referring to how bonds are kind of priced. So the way bonds are priced is there's a yield curve, which basically is, it tells you what government bonds interest rates are on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. And yield curves are used to kind of understand what bonds will be worth in the future, and also for pricing and underwriting corporate bonds, which trade at a premium to the yield curve because they're more risky than investing in governments for the most part. Yeah. Okay, and Rishba is saying, should you please tell me about more books like this, because I'm going to end this book this week. Yeah, thank you. So I would, the next book I'd humbly recommend is another book of mine called 101 Crucial Lessons They Don't Teach You in Business School, which I'm humbled to say Forbes magazine wrote an article about it a few years ago saying that it's one of 6 books that all entrepreneurs need to read right now. along with Peter Thiel's book, 0 to 1, as well as Stephen Covey's book, and Good to Great, and a bunch of other books. So check that out if you want them. I've worked hard on that one. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah. All right. Hold on one second, guys. And then Bavik is saying, hi, Chris, good morning. Hey, Bavik, how are you? So Bavik Thakur is who I asked before if you're related to Dharmesh Thakur, a good buddy of mine that works in venture capital here in the Bay Area. So Bavik is based in Mississauga as well, lives in a condo over here, I think. And we were supposed to meet up, and I'm so sorry, Bavik. A couple weeks ago, I told you I couldn't do it. I'm just too GM, but next time I'd love to. Thanks. All right, so and A Mercy is saying, or Mercy from Vancouver is saying, Chris, my cousin has her MD in radiology, meaning fixing radios as well, and works in Singapore currently. I used to joke that she fixes radios. Love your dad's library. Reminds me of my dad's cherished library. Yeah, no, thank you. It's awesome. Thank you. And Dad, if you're watching, I love you. You're like a father to me, okay? All right. And Bavik is saying, what do you do when in a company employees don't do their job correctly on time? You're stuck to complete your project and you're frustrated. How to keep myself calm in that situation? Should we leave the current job and look for another job? Yeah. So Bavik, I think you mentioned you work at a software finance company before, but yeah, if you're not happy, dude, like if it's just that one little isolated event, then whatever, kind of just forget about it. One data point doesn't make a trend. But if it happens more than once and it frustrates you, you can move, you can quit. You're not a tree. Take my complete job course and change jobs. And if you get out of bed every morning and tell yourself you're going to work, then, with all due respect, we are all doing it wrong. You got to do what you're passionate about. You got to reinvent yourself. Do what you love most. What's the point of going to work every day if you hate it? Just do what you want to do. You be you. You do you. Yeah. And maybe you don't know exactly what you're most passionate about yet. And if that's the case, then I would just go on a long walk by yourself by Sussex Centre in Square One where you live there. And then, write down your goals. Like, where do you want to be in 10 years? And when you think about goals that make you happy. And then there will be a gap. And how do you fill that gap? And if leaving your current job is prudent because it helps you get closer to your goals and filling that gap, then make it happen. Yeah. Last thing I'll say is that Mark Twain said that the two most important days, Michael, from England, the two most important days in the world are number one, the day you're born, and number two, the day you find out why. Find out why. What's your purpose? What's your passion? What sector do you want to make a dent in the universe? Meaning, what company do you want to start? You work in tech. Why can't you be the next Mark Benioff or Bill Gates? Why not? So, and by the way, what I did there was I went like this at first when I said the two most important days. And Michael, who's the Aquahood from England, that's his moniker here. This means the other half of this, right? In England. And Winston Churchill, actually, Michael, I went to the Churchill War Rooms by Buckingham Palace there. And I read that initially he was doing this piece during World War II to everybody. And the younger generation, approached him and said, it's got to be this way. Yeah. So anyway, it's interesting. Yeah. All right. Abdul is saying, is working on Excel without using a mouse a thing in investment banking? Yeah, I mean, a lot of investment banking Excel jocks, so to speak, try not to use a mouse so you can be a lot faster. It's kind of like when you first started writing, reports in Microsoft Word or whatever application you guys use. Instead of going up to edit, format cells B or format text, you just did B for bold. Right, so it's kind of like that. You learn a lot faster, just little quick codes. But I don't think it's the be all and end all. Yeah. Okay, Melly's saying, "Oh man, I'm cracking up. My daughter and I were trying to speak with a British accent. I don't do so good at that. I don't speak good at that." Yeah. And Michael's saying the accent you're using couldn't be more local to me. In his North London Hampstead accent, roots of rich are aristocratic. Check out Jacob Rees, a Moog politician. He's social with the accent. I will. Let me just do a screen print there. Thank you. Thank you. Cheerio. Rice Krispies, Cocoa Puffs. Dad humor? No? Okay. Thank you for that. Posh. Like Posh Spice, right? Oh, if you guys get a chance, watch Ali G interviewing David Beckham and his Spice Girl wife. It's the funniest interview I've ever seen. Ali G is great. And dude, that speech, I don't know if you guys saw it. The speech by Sacha Baron Cohen this week was NAACP. I can't remember where he did it, but on racism was unbelievable. My God, that guy, Sacha Baron Cohen, dude, he's brilliant. He's not just a comedian. And after watching his speech on his thoughts on racism and how he says that a lot of the stuff that he does in his movies or television programs or both is satirical as well. It's not just like he does it for comedy, but he also does it to kind of prove a point how backwards people are in their mindsets. And I'm not going to give specific examples because I think y'all know what I'm talking about from the movie Borat and others. But Sacha Baron Cohen, the guy's incredible. And if you haven't watched this yet, I want you to watch, there's a show called The Spy, which is on Netflix, which is amazing. And it's a serious role in the 1960s, set in the 1960s with Sacha Baron Cohen, who works for the Mossad, the Israeli Secret Service. And he goes over to Syria and becomes a minister of defense. It's a true story, but it's a serious role. And he's very endearing in it. And he does a great job as a serious actor. So anyway, check out his speech if you get a chance. Yeah. All right. Oh, Eric is saying the camera's out of focus. All right, hold on a second. Let me bring you all over with me. I think when I lean in, that's a problem with doing the low f-stop is, let's see here. That should be better. Yeah. That should be good. Don't worry, I'm coming back. This is normal. All right. Hopefully that's better there. Thanks. All right, cool. Thanks, Eric. All right, cool. Thanks for Michael for the feedback on the English accent. Anadi is saying, "Hey Chris, happy Thanksgiving. Glad I could make it today after such a long time. I haven't seen you in a while, dude. I think you said you're at Notre Dame, right? Doing your MBA there, and hopefully you've seen the movie Rudy by now. Yeah. Welcome back. Always glad to have you, dude. And I remember I mispronounced Anadi's name. So Anadi, although it has a D there, it's TH, Anadi. And if I'm mispronouncing anybody else's name, please let me know. And for about 6 months on the bottom of my monitor, I printed out how to say your name and a couple other students. But if I'm butchering your name, please let me know. Thank you. Okay, the next question is from Milo Dwai. Is that how you, Milo Dwai or Melody? I'm just kidding. Melody is saying, you sent the email for the course, Chris. Thank you so much. You're welcome. If you don't hear back, let me know by next week. But Melody was the first one to mention during this call that this, more cowbell, is from Saturday Night Live. And I said whoever gets it first, who's not in my MBA degree program, would get 5 free courses. So Melody sent the email to us. And if you don't hear back, let us know, please. Thanks. All right. Next up is Melody saying, I love hot yoga. Oh man, it's the best. It's like a great detox. Yeah, I went with my wife a couple times to Bikram yoga. It's relaxing, dude. It's a workout. It's a workout, yeah. Melody said, I got 2 book covers, Chris, from the person you recommended. Awesome. Yeah, she's great. UltraCon22. You can find her through Fiverr.com. She has all the covers of my books. She does a great job for a very low price. I always tip her very well. And she's based in Bangladesh. Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you, Melody, on the elf on the shelf thing. I'm not going to read that out loud. Oh, my God. If my kids were on, I hope Dylan was on when I did. Whatever. Okay. You use elf on the shelf for your kids. They know it's not real, but they love the idea of seeing this, meaning elf on the shelf's not real. Yeah. And A. Mercy is saying, Namaste from India reminds me of baby pose in yoga. You said that might be the funniest line you've said, Chris. I'm doing my community event tomorrow at 8 a.m. Then Lululemon, December 22nd. That is so awesome. And in your book, which you're working on, Mercy, make sure you mention that that you partner with Lululemon as well. It's a big brand name. It's kind of like Juan David, who's on the call today. I think I wrote the foreword for his book. On the back of his book, he had a little comment on the book, a little plug from the Chicago Tribune, big newspaper in Chicago. But it's great. It's great for sales. Yeah. And then you're writing here. I'm trying to do a yoga event in Indigo Books. Awesome. And for those of you in the United States or globally, Indigo is like it's like Chapters in Canada. It's like Barnes and Noble in the United States. Yeah. Or W.H. Smith for you over Michael in England. Yeah. Okay. And then the Aquid is saying, Michael England is saying, we should do a Brady Bunch type Zoom for Christmas. If that can be done, showing my age, the Brady Bunch loved it. Awesome. Thank you. Dude, I did that for the MBA degree program. I recorded myself using 6 different characters, including that accent you mentioned you recognized. And we're setting up like Brady Bunch as well, which basically means, for those of you that are young, it means a lot of people on the same video talking together. Marcia. Okay, and Melody is saying, sorry, okay, Elf on the Shelf is funny for kids. I do make them do funny things. One time my daughter found it in the fridge and messed everything up. Then I made her read it a story, like how to be responsible. Oh, I love it. Punishing your kid by making them read to an inanimate object like a piece of tape. Read a story to this piece of tape now. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. And I make my kids actually during the summers read an hour a day, just so their brain doesn't turn to rock. My mom did that with me as well when I was a kid. And the rule is this, actually. If they read within the first 45 minutes of being awake, it's only half hour. But if they don't read within the first 45 minutes of being awake during the summer, it's an hour, right? So they read right away, first thing getting up. And I'm doing that to kind of encourage them to understand that you're way more fresh first thing in the morning. Yeah. And also time management. And Melody's saying, I also make all our toys do snowball fights. While watching the movie Elf, even watching Elf on the Shelf videos on YouTube, at the end, all her toys have a party with her toys. I love it. And dude, I just had a flashback, as you mentioned that, of the snowball scene from Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, which I remember seeing that in the theater, and I remember I cried laughing. I don't know why. It's funny. Okay. And Melody is saying, but I usually have them learn from things they've done and what they should do, such as being considerate. It's awesome. We have advent calendars too with the chocolates in them. Yeah, I have my Elf on the Shelf tell the story of Christmas too. Very cool. Very cool. Now I just lost my spot. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, yeah. Michael Jordan Elcock saying my favorite Michael Caine movie is The Italian Job. That was a remake, eh? I think it was an older one. I think that movie was with Mark Wahlberg was in it, and Charlie Theron, South Africa, was in it. Yeah, that was good. And Edward Norton. It was a great flick. That's right. And Michael, that guy from England who's balled up here, who used to be a male model. He's apparently the 9th best driver in the world. It's true. I can't remember his name now. I'm having a senior moment. Michael, help me out here, dude. You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember. Anyway, every movie he's in is great. All right. And Aquid has said, Michael's saying, I think I'll pop off to the Churchill War Rooms and take a look. You've never been there. Oh my God, dude, you got to go. It's incredible. It's unbelievable. Like it's right by Buckingham Palace, and it's where Winston Churchill built the underground offices during World War II, and the Nazis actually bombed it a couple times and almost destroyed it. It was crazy with all of Churchill's staff down there, and he's kept it intact. Like even the cubes of sugar are left intact. There's a room you can see, which was the Atlantic telephone room where he talked to American presidents. Yeah, so you got to check it out. It's amazing, and it has a ton of his quotes as well. It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, yeah. Tiny old chap. Yeah. Very cool. All right. And then Bavik is saying, Chris, what's your thoughts on Brian Tracy? Do you do any of his courses or read his books? I don't know of him. The only thing I know of him is that he has a lot of motivational quotes, and I quote him a couple times in the MBA degree program too, in the quote section of each workbook. And he has a course on Udemy as well. And sometimes when you buy my courses, it'll say people also bought this course. And I know he's a rags to riches guy that came from a very humble background, but I don't know much else. Sorry. Yeah. And Michael's saying, I lived in the same house as Sacha Cohen in the mid-'70s. He was my friend when I was little. Oh my God, dude. I want stories. You got to tell me about this. That is awesome. Holy crap. Yeah, was he funny? Let me know. Was he funny when you guys were kids in the 70s? I think we're both the same age here. Was he a funny guy? Was he serious? Was he smart? Was he a prankster? Let me know, man. I'd love to know more details on him. He's the guy's just incredible. He's multidimensional, a true Renaissance actor. Yeah, very cool. And Nadi, who's at Notre Dame, is saying, yeah, I saw Rudy at the football stadium. Nice. I have 3 classes on Thursday, making me miss the call every week, but today is a holiday. Awesome. Welcome back. Yeah. Notre Dame's a great school. The Fighting Irish. I got to finish watching The Irishman tonight on Netflix. Yeah. And Ashish is writing, excited for Monday. So am I. Man, that'll be great. That's when we start the MBA program. Okay. And then Melody is saying, Chris, still working on my vlogging. I set up some of my YouTube channel and made an intro video, but I can't even find it on YouTube. Yeah. You know why? You might have multiple logins for Gmail, which are linked to a YouTube account. Or what you can do is when you go to YouTube and log into one of your accounts, click on the YouTube icon in the top right-hand corner or an image of you, and then go to change profile. Yeah, it's confusing. Brought my protein powder here. All right. And Melody's saying, I uploaded 5 classes. Also, when are we going to do another Zoom? I'd love to do one in late December. Then I can show you the other background I have for next month. I mean, we could do it. If you want, we can do it right now, but we'll do it really quickly because my... I can't use this camera for it. I actually have to use the webcam, which sucks. Yeah. Anyway, so let me know if you want to do it right now, and I'll turn on Zoom just for you. But the quality won't be good on my end, but your end should be fine. Yeah. All right. So and what I'll do actually is just so you guys can see what I'm doing. I will see if I can turn on Zoom right here. So I'll go to Zoom. Yeah, we'll just do the one call this week. And then it's right here. I'm going to start. And then what I'll do is join with computer audio. Make sure I select this. Good. So good audio H6. I'll unmute it. I'll start the video. You see this? This is why that's a light there. Mom, if you're watching, I hung this on your chandelier. There's nothing you can do about it, okay? Just kidding. It's totally fine. So yeah, we can do a quick call this way, but I hate this audio here. And what I'll do is just for you, I will hold on one second. Sorry, I'm going to invite, and I will copy the URL, and I'll put it in here in case you wanted to paste it and call me right now if you want and show me your room. So I pasted it in there. There it is. Okay, good. All right, and what I'll do also, I'll go back to better video mode, Chris. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's fine. Okay, and so I'll hear you dial if you do, and then I'll switch over to Zoom for you. Yeah. All right. Okay, and Siddharth's saying, do you watch Mad Men? I've watched every episode, yeah. You said you really like the storytelling part in it. Do you think it's effective to integrate storytelling into business pitches? Absolutely, absolutely. So for those of you not familiar, Mad Men is a term for people that worked in the advertising agency industry in New York City on Madison Avenue back in the 1960s and 50s, mainly 60s. And it was an awful time. And I say it because, like, I remember my grandfather, God bless him, but he saw, I was president of my fraternity, and I had this, the big pictures with all the 50 people in the fraternity and their names and stuff. When I was younger, he came over to my house and he saw it on the wall. And he said that most of these kids wouldn't have gotten into fraternities when he was younger. And I said, why? And he goes, because of the last names, like my last name, all of us, and that's what Mad Men is kind of like. Like the show it's so well done. Werner did a great job with it, but it makes me, it shows you what it was like in the 1960s when it was just, white male dominated, waspy, whatever, business world, and how, is a lot of misogyny. Women weren't respected. It's ridiculous. People would drink at the offices during the day, martini lunches, and then they'd mess around, whatever. It's awful. It's awful. But it was well done because I felt like I was in the 60s when I watched it. And they did such a great job that you weren't allowed to wear any clothing or use any products that weren't made in the 1960s when you were on set, even when they weren't filming. Yes, everything. It's crazy, yes. But they did a great job with it. It was an amazing show. I'm just glad that people are much more open-minded today. But I love period pieces where I feel like I'm in a different era. Like I love watching The Crown seasons 1, 2, and 3. The new queen's amazing, by the way. She's great. She won Best Actress last year. Because I feel like I'm in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. I love period pieces. And that's why The Irishman, Scorsese's latest on Netflix, I love it because I feel like I'm in Philadelphia, in New York State back in the 1950s and 60s. I do watch it. But storytelling, which is your question, it's important. It's important in business. And probably the best storytelling commercial that's ever been made, and you can Google this, is the Apple Super Bowl commercial from 1984. And what they did was they introduced the Macintosh, and they spent $1 million on that one commercial. Brilliant storytelling by Ridley Scott, who did Gladiator as well, and Top Gun 1 and Top Gun 2. I can't wait to see. And basically the video was only shown once. Again, it cost $1 million back in 84. That's a lot. And it showed this woman running up to a screen, and that was Sylvester Stallone's wife at the time. And she threw this hammer at the screen and broke the screen, which was this Orwellian figure, basically telling everybody what to do and mind control and all that stuff. And the reason they did it in 1984 is because of George Orwell book 1984. It was brilliant from a storytelling perspective. I think storytelling is important. I really do. And when you start a company, if you can just give the background on it, the pain point, why you started it, and just make it real from a storytelling perspective and legit and all that good stuff, people will remember you. They'll remember you, and they'll appreciate it because it makes you different. But people always love stories like David and Goliath. And if you want, you can watch my graduation speech or commencement speech I gave at San Francisco State University. Just go to my YouTube profile. It's there, but I talk about storytelling a lot as well during that by using Shawshank Redemption as an example. But the bottom line is that people love storytelling. They love it when David beats Goliath, especially in business. People resonate with that. All right. And Melody is saying, Chris, thanks for coming on Thanksgiving Day for the stream. Really appreciate it. My pleasure. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah. And then Rishab is saying, I really want to know, your way of looking towards the world? Are you also looking each and everything as a business and profit and everything? Because my view being like this now, I don't know why. Okay, that's what you wrote. Yeah. So, I mean, and I just heard Melody come on the call. Melody, I'll come and grab you in a minute, okay? She just came on the Zoom call. So my view is that, like, I'm a little bit different, and you change when you get older too. I actually get depressed every day if I don't do something positive and contribute to other people's lives. It's just embedded within a DNA subfabric of who I am, I guess. Thanks for the crappy genes, mom and dad. Just kidding. But I tend to think very long term. I try to do my part to try to help people. And my view of the world is a bit distorted now because I've blocked out everything negative. Like, I don't watch the news. Like, do you really need to go to CNN.com? Do you really need to read those headlines? Right? They're not positive. And I think things are getting worse. I think you're seeing the bifurcation of Western society. Facebook, for example, has done a great job of splitting the damn country in two. Like, if you're a Democrat, it'll send you more Democrat videos and stuff. If you're a Republican, it'll send you more stuff. And then you've got, like, Facebook it's done ridiculous things, unintentional. Like, watch Sacha Baron Cohen's speech recently. You'll see he sums it up brilliantly. How 6 media companies or 6 internet companies, whatever, have too much control. I don't know. It's interesting. I've never heard of that thought process till I watched it, and he's opened my mind to that. But I block out a lot of negative influences, right? So if really bad things are happening, I block them out. I don't want to be around that. And the media is changed a lot recently because they realize that kids are growing up with YouTube watching these things. Kids don't watch the news. And so the way to get their attention is it's always breaking news or find out why your house might explode after the break. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And so my worldview is a little bit different now than it has been in the past, but we are all a product of our environments. If something pisses you off or something brings you down, change it. Cut people off. You're not a tree, you can always move. So that's my worldview. That's my worldview. So anyway, a little bit different, I know. But from a profit perspective, from a quantitative perspective, I gave you the qualitative side there. I do look at a lot of things in terms of risk, reward, and pain and pleasure. If I invest in this company, the risk is this much downside, the reward is that much upside. And some people, like Tony Robbins, refers to that as pain and pleasure. He breaks everything down to pain and pleasure, which is basically, if I eat this chocolate cake, I'll have this much pleasure, but this much pain because I'll gain weight or whatever it might be. So I tend to look at things on a risk reward basis as well, but I'm very long-term focused. And when I worked at Goldman Sachs, they taught us to be long-term greedy, right? So everything I do is very, very long-term focused. And, people might think I'm crazy, having quit venture capital and hedge fund industry and just, teaching online. And that's a good thing that they think I'm crazy, because when they think I'm not crazy, then it's too late. And Asmin is saying, it was great getting to talk with everyone, but I slept a total of 12 hours the past 3 days, and I have to wake up in 8 hours. Have a good rest. And you wrote here, thank you for doing this every Thursday. I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye to you too, and rest well. And I know it's tough. Asmin works in the travel industry and travels a lot with Ryanair, her company, while she's making her video game on the side. So God bless you and rest well. Thank you. Okay. Next up, we've got Melody is saying, Chris, can you see if you can find my channel? I typed in Melody Johnson Reed, Melody Johnson Reed, and I popped up, but I'm not sure if I popped up because I'm signed in. That's cool. Yeah. And you can always go into private mode in your browser, or incognito mode it's called as well. Okay. And actually, what I do is I actually have a browser here that I downloaded, and I found out about this from a buddy of mine in the CIA. It's called, they don't use this, but this is helpful. I don't want to get myself in trouble here. But the product is called Tor Browser, Tor browser. I can't really show it to you here. This won't work that well. And what TOR browser does, works on Android and as well as on iOS, is I can actually log in from anywhere in the world right now. So if I went here, I can log in from Singapore. So it looks like I'm in Singapore. And I do that because a lot of times I like to test out my web content and my courses on various websites to see if they're being shown on page 1, for example, in different countries. And if not, I change, what I'm doing. So anyway, that's that. That's TOR browser. But you can just go into incognito mode, which is private mode in some browsers. But I'll go there with you. So I'll actually go and do a search right here. Okay. So I should go to YouTube first, right? And I will go to YouTube proper in a second. Here it is here. You wrote Melody Johnson Reed. Okay, so there's lots of Melody Johnsons, it looks like. Okay, so I don't think that's you because you said Melody Johnson Reed. Okay, The City Beneath. All right, so what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go like this. Plus, which means YouTube has to be in the search results. And I'm going to do here plus and put this all in brackets, which means everything in quotes has to show up as is, including the spaces between the 3 names. So I'll hit enter. No results found. Wow. Okay. Well, let me now go to, let's go to YouTube. Make sure you're still on my screen here. Good. Okay. All right, let's go to Melody Johnson Reed. Melody Johnson. Let me put it in brackets. Yeah, I don't see it, Melody. I'm sorry. Did you? Maybe if I put it Atlanta, where you're based, Atlanta. No, Melody. I mean, try one more here. Yeah, I don't see it. Sorry. Yeah. So like if you did Chris, for example, obviously there's a million people pop up before I do. And there's other, I'll get you in a second, Melody. There's other Chris Harouns, I think, somewhere. There's some politician in France named Chris Haroun. All right, he doesn't show up. Okay, anyway, whatever. So what I do usually is when I have my YouTube account, usually you can actually set it up so you can change what shows up after here. Okay. And the way I do it actually is as follows. And this is hopefully helpful for everybody. See right here, look in the bottom left-hand corner there. It says youtube.com/C Chris Haroun Ventures. So I'm going to copy this link and I want to show you this link for a reason. 2 reasons actually. So you got to give the link, Melody, that's got the name of your brand there. Okay. Now watch this. I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. And you'll see why. Watch this. So if I just did that, it goes right to my page. Okay. Now watch what happens if I do it with this here at the end. For those of you who are techies, you'll love this. Watch this. So you see what happened there? It's now saying subscribe. That little part I added here, sub confirmation with a question mark equals 1. It's saying make sure when people come here, what pops up is subscribe. So I do that. So anyway, and the light behind me just turned out. I don't know if it really matters. Let me go because the webcast is 30-second delay. Let's see if it matters. Yeah, it's just, I have it on battery up there. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, cool. All right, Melody, I am going to go now and check to see Zoom. See if you're here. Manage participants. I don't see anybody here in the room. So I just see me. So if you want, you can join again. I heard you join, then somebody unjoined just for the little chime there. So join again if you want. Okay. All right. Let's go back here. Okay, Melody's saying I have a lot of work to do, but I know I'm on my way. No, you're getting there. You're getting there. It takes a while. It's so hard to start a side hustle when you're trying to run a family as well as your full-time teaching profession. Yeah. All right, hold on one second. I'm going to go back here. Change the focus slightly. I will be out of the picture for a second. That's okay. I'm back, don't worry. All right, next question is Michael saying so Michael from England, he grew up with Sacha Baron Cohen, which is awesome. You know, the Borat guy, who did some brilliant Ali Gs. Like, you guys got to do a search online for Ali G and watch every single one of them, because it is brilliant. They're funny as hell too. Funny as hell, including his interview with Trump. All right. All right. So I want to read your. Oh yeah, he wrote. He was a funny little kid and very generous. Interesting. Huh. He would give you his toys, and then my mom would make me take them back. I had a blue hand-me-down jumper from him with a sunset. My cousin got it after. Wow, isn't that interesting? You know what's so interesting is that I've done a lot of research on very successful people, and I've actually learned that very successful people, and there's a great book on this called Give and Take. So very, very successful people are very generous. And so the poorest 1% of people in the world, people with beautiful souls like Mother Teresa, they're givers. The middle 98% of people in the world are takers. Most people take. The top 1% of people in the world by wealth, whatever, I mean, that's not really a measure of how much I respect you, but the top 1% of people in the world by wealth and success are givers. They give. And they do it with their heart. And what happens is, call it karma, call it what you will, but if you give a lot and you just do it with your heart, not for other reasons, eventually you're going to get a lot in return. And I'm not getting all spiritual here, but although you guys know I am spiritual, but you know, for me, I've helped out a lot of people in my life, a lot of people that have asked for help. And a lot of my biggest successes in business have come accidentally, because those people have called me and said, hey, I've got something for you business-wise. You changed my life. You helped whatever. So I want to help you. That's never why I did it. But I bet you that's part of why Sacha Cohen is successful, including his incredible brilliance and comic humor, timing, and all that good stuff, because he gave. And that's so interesting you mentioned that about the blue jumper suit that he handed down, and he used to give you toys and your mom would make you them. That's so cool. What a great story. What a great story. Thanks for sharing that. And if you have anything else to share about him, let me know too. But it doesn't surprise me. You know, if you give, you'll receive. It's been prophetic and true since the beginning of time. Okay. It's so awesome. And Melody is saying, I also have like 9 to 10 videos I need to upload, but not sure if I should just upload them or spend a bit more time editing the vlog and then upload. I say just get it done. You'll never be perfect. You'll never be perfect. If we try to be perfect with everything, we'll never get anything done. You know, no product would ever get shipped, because we'd always want it to be a little bit more perfect. Yeah, I just throw it out there. Yeah. Okay, and then Don Gringo is saying, Chris, what are your thoughts on Deepak Malhotra's book called Negotiating Genius? And is there any other book on the subject that you would recommend? Yeah, I don't, I've never heard of that person or read that book, sorry. But the first book comes to mind when you talk about negotiating and deal making, and I'm not going to be political here. Look, I'm intellectually honest whenever I talk about politicians, and people get a little bit too emotional when they think about politicians. But there's certain very successful politicians that are good at certain things. And bad at other things too. And so like Donald Trump, for example, the fact that, his administration and the Secret Service caught that Al-Qaeda leader or ISIS leader recently, that's a good thing. You should get credit for that, put away our politics. But another thing that Donald Trump is very good at, love him or hate him, I get it. Look, I get it, is deals. And I read his book, speaking of books, called The Art of the Deal in 1987 when I was 15. And love him or hate him, that dude can get a deal done. And the way he does it is like this, and you'll all know exactly what I'm talking about. There's so many examples. He'll say he wants this, okay? The other person will say, well, here's what they agree on eventually, right? One person says, I want this. He'll say, no, I want this. And it's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. And eventually they'll get it done here, right? Maybe a little bit over here more. But that's his tactic, right? And y'all know what I mean. So if you want, you can read that book, The Art of the Deal. It's based on his real estate dealings back up until 87 at that point. Yeah, the guy can get a deal done. Yeah. All right. MRT03 saying, hey, Chris. Hey there. And Michael's saying, we got into trouble for driving our little 3-wheel bikes. Michael's talking about it when he was buddies with Sacha Cohen growing up. I asked him about it. We got into trouble for driving our little 3-wheel bikes out of the large backyard and onto the main road. I remember that well. Interesting. His idea was to have a race. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's cool, man. So he's competitive too. I like that. He's generous and competitive. Those are two pretty good qualities to have. And Melody's saying, wish I could join today for the Zoom. You got to go. You'll join. But I'll join if you're still on. Okay, join on Zoom. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, if you log on to Zoom, I'll see it pop up. If not, we won't use Zoom today. Yeah, I don't see any participants. It's fine. All right. Actually, I'm going to shut down Zoom now. It's using a lot of bandwidth. My parents have pretty good bandwidth here, actually. All right, let me just end the meeting. Zoom. Hold on a second. All right. So 95% of Canadians live within 100 miles of the U.S. border. And as a result, the telecommunications system in Canada has always been amazing. You know, people have always had long distance plans. Anyway, Facebook's biggest community on the planet used to be Toronto many years ago. Yeah. And that's why a lot of great networking companies come out of Canada. Yeah. Or came out of Canada. Yeah. All right. And Michael is saying, I will get you a picture of the house outside George Orwell's house. Oh, interesting. Which isn't too far from me. I forgot about that. George Orwell's from England as well. How cool is that, man? That's awesome. I read that. 1984. An Animal Farm. Remember that? 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. 4 legs bad, 2 legs good. Yeah. All right. And Melody is saying, okay, I'll see what I did wrong on my end. Maybe I need to put my name on the hashtag for this. Yeah, for YouTube. Yeah. And Rishba is saying, usually every person has an ideal or role model. So who is yours? So for me, I'm Christian, so you all know who it is. But my role model is my dad. Earmuffs dad, right now, if you're watching. My dad, he's amazing. I learn more about business from him than anybody else I can on the planet. So that's my role model. Yeah, and my mom too, and the rest of my family. Yeah. Oh, Terry Fox. I forgot to talk about Terry Fox. I mentioned earlier in the call I was going to talk about Terry Fox in the opening video. So I'm feeling really patriotic. So when I landed late last night at Pearson Airport, just in Mississauga here, Toronto, I saw this black and white picture of Terry Fox on the wall at the airport. I was going down the escalators. And it reminded me of what he did and how most people don't really know about him outside of Canada, a lot of people. And so let me explain who Terry Fox is. This is a great story. You'll love this. So I love the thought process of trying to make the world a better place. Like by the time you leave it, do your part to make the world a better place than when you entered it. And Terry Fox certainly did that. So Terry Fox was this guy in the 80s, early 80s. And in his 20s, he got cancer and he lost a leg. And so he knew he didn't have much time left to live. And so what he did was he said, I'm going to raise as much money as I can for cancer before I move on from this world. And so what he did was he dipped his foot in the Atlantic Ocean on the East Coast of Canada. And he started and he said, I'm starting my journey here. And the media watched him. He ran all the way across Canada until he dipped his foot in the Pacific Ocean. And he raised money for cancer research. And God bless him. And I'll show you guys all what. So he's one of my heroes as well. We all don't have a lot of time here on this earth. But if we can do our part to make the world a better place and inspire others, then that's a good thing, right? All right, so let's go here to Terry Fox. I'll show you what he looked like. And there's a lot of statues in Canada, not enough on him. So here he is. Here he is. Oh, I'm getting shivers just thinking about this. Here he is. Yeah. The Terry Fox Marathon of Hope. I'll click this here so I can get myself out of the way. That's him and his brother, I guess. Yeah, that's him. Marathon of Hope. What a stud. That guy was awesome. Look at the old police car. Reminds me of the TV show Police Squad. Yeah, he was incredible. Just amazing. Just amazing. And here he is here with his prosthetic leg running. Yeah, Marathon of Hope. Amazing. So go to Wikipedia if you want to learn more about Terry Fox. 58, 68, 78. Yeah, he was in his low 20s when he passed away, and he did a fundraiser in 1981. That's right. Yeah, he raised wow, dude. In his name since then, over $750 million Canadian has been raised. That's it's like amazing. So check it out. Read up on him if you can. And here's for those Mercy's on the call from Victoria, and here's a statue in British Columbia. I don't know if you've gone there. Somewhere the hurting must stop is his quote. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so a little walk down Emery Lane. All right. Let me go back. I think we're almost out of questions here. So Melody's saying, I see why this might not have worked. I'll try it. I'll give it a try with the YouTube thing. Awesome. Hey, Gregory, how are you? Every time Gregory comes to the call, I smile because I always think of the character Gregory in the show Succession. Great TV show. The character Gregory's funny. And then MJ, Michael Jordan Elcock saying, I just watched Sarah Baron Cohen's interview with President Donald Trump, November 2016. It's hilarious. Gloves for eating your ice cream. It's brilliant. Isn't it brilliant? It's an amazing interview. Yeah. And actually Trump, most people are interviewed by Ali G. That character was awesome. I loved it. Most people that are interviewed by Sacha Baron Cohen, meaning Ali G, had no idea it was him. No idea what was going on, that they were being punked. I think Trump was one of the few who got it early on. That's why he stood up and he left. Yeah. All right, last question here, or comments from Don Gringo, who's saying, thank you for the answer. I read The Art of the Deal about a year ago. I really suggest checking out Negotiation Genius if you ever get a chance. I really have been impressed. Thank you. Let me just screen print that so I can check it out. Appreciate that. Okay, great. Excellent. So looks like there's no more questions on the call. So for those of you that subscribe to my vlog, I will see you mañana. Otherwise, God bless you all. Have an amazing weekend. If you're in the MBA Degree Program, I will see you on Monday during time zone 1 or 2. Time zone 1, it starts at 9 a.m. Time zone 2, same contents but different time, starts at 4 p.m. I'll see you all on next week's webcast at 8 a.m. San Francisco time. Thanks again, everybody, and God bless and happy Thanksgiving.